Stadium, the Madhouse.
It's the Madhouse Maniacs. They're getting up on their feet.
Mass chaos. Oh, he hits them, climbing all over each other. Trouble. Every time you turn around, there's physicality. The fans are on their feet for a photo finish. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the home of NASCAR's greatest Coliseum. We have action every Saturday night here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Still the most exciting of them all. Big crash. Oh! This is Bowman Gray. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 1,118th edition of still the most exciting of them all, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series Racing live on Flow Racing, and it's QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 tonight, as well as a full card of racing here at the Madhouse. The fans are piling in to this historic facility, and James Pike alongside me. I'm Matthew Dillner. Pike, we got a big lineup for tonight.
A very, very fun lineup as well. Biggest night of the season for the Q104.1 Stadium Stocks, but 50 laps for them paired with sportsman races, modified races, street stock races, and a chain race in the night.
And last week, it was weather for a duck. Yes, that's the only way to best describe what it looked like. But this week, voila, a lot better. What a difference a week makes, right?
Literally what a difference a week makes, right? Crazy. Same shot, too.
And you look right there, okay, on the screen. That's been the story thus far in 2025. It's been Burt Myers. You know, there's a lot of storylines every week at Bowman Gray Stadium, but the ace, the number one, has been the number one storyline.
So fine is win 99. The ace does it at Bowman Gray. He wins the Kevin Powell Motorsports 100. The deeper you get in your career, the harder they are to get. And to get back here tonight, man, it's a pretty good night for us. It really is.
Number one, the ace, Burt Myers. Welcome to the 100 Club at Bowman Gray Stadium.
99 modified wins, one win in the sportsman division, 100 wins. I don't care how many it is, just getting here and putting this thing in victory lane is special every time.
Tattoo you to the backside of board. Now he gets into him in the south turn, side by side, a drag race to the north turn. Myers on the inside, Ward fighting hard on the outside. Burt Myers to the lead. Win number 100 in the modified division. Burt Myers has done it.
Man, 100 wins, can you believe it?
Burt Myers making history. So many history makers here in every division, and that's what keeps him coming back. It's not just action-packed racing, but every week you see moments like that, Pike.
Yep, the track just recognized him in pre-race ceremonies for his 100 modified wins tonight, though. He has the opportunity to go undisputed number one all-time on the wins list at Bowman Gray. So a massive potential historic moment for the ace if he can find his way to Carolina Wood Floors victory lane this evening.
And you look at the graphic right there of the divisional breakdown. Of course, his 100th modified win, something so valued and revered. But hey, you know, to have that one sportsman win, you know, that's stout too. It was a lone start in the sportsman division. So who will it be? Will he get his 102 or will Tim Brown get his first win of the season? Well, all the Chris Allison fans are here. Pintang, we're going to come back. The stadium stocks are the headliner, and we'll be back with night 1,118 live on Flow Racing.
Choice Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your number one source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling on the road and off. Choice Tire and Automotive offers check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. They bring the best quality service possible in everything they do, and their team is committed to providing the best workmanship and customer experience possible. Choice Tire and Automotive's hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Give Choice Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
Up first, 20 laps for the loss is the John Barrow Sportsman Series.
Well, we are back, and we are ready for racing here live at Bowman Gray Stadium, historic Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I'm Matthew Dillner, joined alongside by James Pike, and the Sportsman Division will be the first to hit the track, and it's been one heck of a season in the points battle here, and we got one car that's really kind of a run.
And that car, a driver that's found plenty of success in this division before, the 2023 champion Chase Robertson, leads the points coming into this week. We did not compete because of the rain last week, so these are points after the racing on May 24th. Leads by 35 markers over Zach Moore, and Ryan Robertson just 4 markers back of Zach in third. And really, when you look at their seasons, there's one big difference that you'll notice. Look at that 17th place finish, the 5th race of the season, middle of May for Zach Orr, where he ran into mechanical issues. He's been top 10, pretty consistently top 5 in all but one race. You look at how last year went when Zach Orr won the title, big difference in runs there. So there's your comparison, and you see how much that 17th place finish stands out. Now here's Chase Robertson, and just the staggering consistency. No finish worse than 5th to start off 2025. And you compare their seasons, Orr and Robertson together, that one dip, that almost single-handedly accounts for that 35-point gap between Orr and Robertson.
Yes, it does. I mean, any bad finish here is just like exaggerated. And we saw it last week with some of the divisions. Last time we were here was double points night. So you saw some people really taking advantage of that, and you saw some real front runners suffer mightily. But hey, the Sportsman cars are hitting the track right now, so we will give you the starting lineup for the first race of the night. A 20-lap race, twin 20s tonight for the Sportsman division. On the pole, this driver from Oswego, New York, in the Salmon River Maple Products number 24, it's the Furnace, A.J. Burness. And to the outside, the Pendry Home Improvement number 03 for the Rockstar, Sterling Clemens.
Starting in the 3rd position in the number 0 machine out of Poptown, North Carolina, the squeaky clean Groundworks NCTrailers.com car piloted by the Zero Hero, Kirk Sheets. And starting to his outside, the 2023 champion of this series out of Walburg, North Carolina, driving the East Coast Wings, Jerry Hunt Supercenter Davidson Steel Machine, Chase Robertson in the 31.
Starting 5th tonight, the car that we just detailed his season, the number 55 Pulse Vodka machine for Zach Orr, last year's champion. And to the outside, the good guy, the number 38 Auto Supply of Thomasville car for Mitch Gales.
Starting in 7th, driving the number 23 machine out of Walburg, North Carolina, the Sammy Sliders Thornburg construction car piloted by Ryan Robertson. And starting to his outside in 8th is the 77 machine of Jeff Snow.
Starting 9th tonight, the Shitty Coolers, number 15, it's T. Dawson. And then alongside on the outside, the number 7 Camnell construction machine, the black car with the pink numbers, Connor Branch.
Starting in the next spot in 11th, the number 37 out of Poptown, North Carolina, the Bad Daddy's Burger car driven by Chris Massey. And starting in 12th, one of the most popular drivers in this division out of Rural Hall, North Carolina, driving the Harkey Litigation Watertail Mill Machine, it's Tiger Tommy Neal.
Starting 13th on this feature event night, Privacy Fence Solutions, number 28 for the show, Billy Gregg. And to the outside, the number 8 Bark Buddies machine, it's the dog, Kyler Kepley. And then rounding out the rear of the field,
starting in 15th, the number 51 machine, the Wade Interiors Pro Choice Dealing Machine out of King, North Carolina. It's Austin Taylor. Shotgun on the field in 16th. In the number 12 out of Kernersville, North Carolina. Also racing for Wade Interiors and Serpro, it's Donkey Strong, Justin Taylor to round out the grid.
A brothers final row. Hey, guess what? Speaking of that, next week you're off doing Cars Tour, right? I get my brother in the booth. So that's a brother back row in the sportsman division. And then I get to have my brother in the booth, Bob Dillon.
Ha Yi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ha Yi is right.
That's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
pumped up. Okay, I've done a little announcing with Bob, but doing it here at the Madhouse is going to be something special for my family for sure. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll miss you, buddy. But, hey, I'll have old BD up here. And there is Zach Orr's number 55 machine, last year's champion, and, of course, the national champion in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series Division 2 championship. And there's the guy he's chasing. And everybody's chasing that 31 car this year.
And it was so tight between these two last year, and you have to believe that if Chase Robertson has one incident, one mechanical issue, for as good as that car has been, outside of the one night where Zach broke, he's been just about as fast, right? So, yes, it's a 35-point gap, but all it takes is one night to go bad for this points battle to tighten right back up.
Yeah, I mean, right now you can't beat a car like that 31 that's finished every race thus far in the season in the top 5. That is the type of consistency that wins championships. And quite frankly, people talk about this place being so hard to get around. That's the type of racing and the results is hard to get here because this is such a physically demanding place.
A physically demanding place, a tricky place, a place where it takes racecraft to be able to be consistently quick, I think, is the big thing. There's a good look at Chase Robertson's machine, the Jerry Hunt Supercenter's East Coast Wings and Grill, black and orange, number 31. Of course, his dad, Mike Robertson, also a longtime competitor in the stadium, so multi-generational effort from the Robertsons with the support of Dylan Ward. As the lights are off on the modern Chevrolet pace car, and Jimmy Amster will have the opportunity to pull the base vehicle into its place in the north turn. We will have the opportunity to begin night 1,118 of NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series racing at the Madhouse when they come back to the north turn.
Well, can the Robertsons finish 1-2 like they did the last time we saw the sportsman cars run in that 100 lapper? Right now, you've got the Zero Hero, you've got the Rockstar, and a whole bunch of other great sportsman drivers behind them. Green flag is out, and night 1,118 is underway.
And Kirk Sheets did not get a good initial start there. Rear end was sliding all over the place, coming through the north turn, getting a pass by Chase Robertson on the outside. Zach Orr looking for an opportunity to go underneath the Zero Hero. Can't find it yet. Sterling Clemens out in front by a car length and a half as we complete lap 1.
Oh, the Zero Hero has a handful there, sliding and losing spots. New look on that car with blue instead of green. Just new body, not a new car, but he is struggling right now on the outside.
He is struggling. Meanwhile, Chase Robertson is beginning to run down the Rockstar for the race lead, but there's one car stopped over on the entrance to the north turn. It's, I believe,
Chris
the
Massey.
37 of Chris Massey, and that will bring out our first call 811 before you dig caution of the night at Bowman Gray.
Well, the Bad Daddy. That car is stopped on the back stretch. And, the funny thing is that's a really cool-looking body. Look at the way, look at the thing. You can see it right there. That thing is jacked up. That thing looks cool as it goes behind the pit wall. Not how you wanted to start your night, of course, for Massey. Look at that sight. Oh, if you've never been here to Bowman Gray Stadium, you need to come check this place out.
It is a fun place. It is a madhouse, but it is a fun house just the same. As the field continues to circulate, now gets the 1-to-go signal, so we're going to get a quick restart here.
Yeah, I like that.
Modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle will find its place right by the barriers and over by where Corey Latham will take all of his photos at the north turn. Sterling Clemens, your new leader here, as we get back to racing action on lap 3.
Well, we said the Robertsons, they finished first and second last time out, second and third the time before that. Right now, they are second and fourth as we take the green. 3 laps on the board. Sterling Clemens slowly leads him through the north turn and now gets to the loud pedal. Clemens leads Chase Robertson into the south turn.
Clemens with a good drive, but Chase Robertson's car is so strong through the center of the corner. He just about made up the entirety of the gap. Almost had to check up to not run into the rear of Sterling Clemens. Now I think did make contact at the edge of the north turn. Zach Orr, though, has made his way to third and is starting to close in on this battle. So Robertson needs to go if he doesn't want to make this any more complicated for himself.
Well, you saw that 03 right there go into the turn, and the thing was tight center. And boy, oh boy, he had a lot of wheel cranked into it. Yellow flag is out. and that's just going to make the 31 things easier for him. But the 77 has spun on the track right now, and that is Jeff Snow.
Another snowman, not necessarily Junior, but
not Junior's dad, who's also a Jeff Snow. Which,
right.
by the way, I didn't even know if this is public, but he's been struggling with a little bit of cancer, and we got good news today that the snowman's dad is in remission. So a lot of us have been praying for him. So a good day in the pit area. We were walking around, a lot of good smiles today between a bunch of us talking about that. So great things happening here in the pit area. The human interest factor of, we come here and we swap sheet metal and bang, and there's contentious, eruptions of emotion. But there's also some real good humans in this pit area.
We're just talking about people at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, man.
It's just people racing race cars, specifically. So, good look at Ryan Robertson's machine, the other half of the Robertson duo. These two looking for another 1-2 finish, as you said, but lights are going to go off the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle because it is 1 to go coming from the flag stand at Bowman Gray. We're going to get a restart on lap 5. Sterling Plemons still has the lead, but the beneficiary here maybe might just be Zach Orr, because now he won't really have to deal with the gap to try and catch up to either one of Sterling Plemons or Chase Robertson. So lights have gone back on. I think they delayed this restart just a little bit. So there is Sterling Plemons. There is Chase Robertson. Zoom out. There's Zach Orr. Ryan Robertson 4th. And how about Mitch Gales? Currently hanging in the 5th position with a good run. Kirk Sheets literally slid back to 6th on that last restart. That car not handling well to start off things. New partners this week. Dillner mentioned that blue and white scheme, Groundworks and nctrailers.com coming aboard Kirk Sheets' machine for night 1118. But lights are off the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. We're going to get ready to go again on lap 5 of 20. Sterling Plemons to lead this field back to green. He takes off. Better jump for Plemons this time. He'll have some breathing room over Chase Robertson, but Robertson again with that strong run center of the corner, able to gain it back a little bit. And I think Robertson's holding back just a hair. Doesn't necessarily want to move Plemons this early in the going, but as Zach Orr starts to close this gap and make it a 3-car battle for the lead, he might not have any choice.
Yeah, you see Plemons' car wash up there, and Robertson's going to take advantage of that in the way he approaches that corner the next time in the south turn and trying to get a run underneath him coming off the corner. You look at Plemons now down the front straightaway. You see his car go down and see how it washes up about a foot. And that's what that 31 needs and gets that drive off, because the 31, you watch him, he's painting the corner, the inside, that gray stripe, the turtles, every single lap.
And this is about as early as these cars have run in the program, at least in a few weeks, as you see the battle a little bit further back. Is Tommy Neal looking underneath Kirk Sheets. That is for the 6th position on the racetrack, and Mitch Gales right in the mix there, too, on the other portion of your screen. But a little bit earlier in the program than usual for the Sportsman drivers, so this track a little bit warmer, a little bit slicker. I think that explains why some of these cars aren't handling as well as they normally do.
Well, it is the first real hot day of the season as we're halfway in this 20-lap affair here. And now daylight underneath the 03, but Plemons with a good drive off down the back straightaway. Chase Robertson, oh so clean behind him. The gentle little nudge, the suggestion on the back bumper. And we have a spinner, the 12, Donkey Strong. Justin Taylor has spun coming out of turn 2.
I wonder if you love that or if you hate that if you're Chase Robertson, because he had the ability to work on Sterling Plemons, but I think maybe, arguably even more importantly, Zach Orr was just getting hounded by Ryan Robertson right before we got that most recent call, 811 before you dig yellow. One car being stopped over at the entrance to the north turn.
Oh, that is Billy Gregg's car is stopped and is talking to the officials there. He's going to rejoin the field as the lights are already out on the pace car.
Wondering whether or not maybe there's contact. They're going to delay the start because Justin Taylor's come to a stop right in the corner, right by pit exit over at the exit to the north turn, turn 4, if you're using, I guess, sort of standard oval terminology. So Taylor's come to a rest there, and that will extend this call 8-1-1 before you dig caution.
For people just watching, okay, you're going to notice a few things about Bowman Gray. If this is your first timer watching live on Flow Racing, there's really no timing and scoring here. That's because it's old school. They hand score it in the booth, 2 over from us. But also, one of the things that you notice is, everything about this place is just old school. Bottom line. So,
except for the facilities in the concourse, which got a great upgrade a few years ago.
Yes.
Fabulous concessions and some of the best bathrooms you're going to find in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series.
Very good bathrooms.
And this is important.
Very good. Yes, it is. You know how many short tracks I've gone to in my life? And there's not many that have really nice bathrooms that you'd like to bring your kids or family to. And I've brought my kids here. I still do, but they get to be up here in the tower. Want to go. Lights are out on the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle, driven by former racer himself, Jimmy Apsher.
Keeping an eye on that battle, I think, especially for third on this restart, given how tight it was. And Zachor was not able to really make up the gap to Chase Robertson, in part because Ryan Robertson was providing all sorts of pressure as Jimmy Apsher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. Oh, that's a great restart for Sterling Clemens. He got a fabulous jump over Chase Robertson. So Robertson's going to have a little bit of work just to gain that ground to get back to Sterling Clemens. As Zachor has managed to clear Ryan Robertson, give himself a little bit of breathing room for third. Battle actually here is between Greg and Ryan Robertson for that 4th spot, in addition to what may be brewing for the race lead 12 laps up on the board.
You see so much respect in this field, and if you watch the way Chase Robertson has gone about his business here at Bowman Gray Stadium, there's a reason why he's got all his finishes in the top 5. He doesn't make people angry on the racetrack, okay? You saw a little bit of a nudge there, but it's just a little bit of a nudge. That's how you cleanly get physical here at Bowman Gray.
And I go back to the point that Brandon Ward and Burt Myers made at the beginning of the season when they had their bump and run in the season opening Hayes Jewelers 200, and that the line here of what is acceptable is different at Bowman Gray than it is just about anywhere else in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series. And people are a little bit more okay with a bump as 5 laps to go here. We hit amongst the sportsmen, and still Chase Robertson trying to drive it on the grass, just about to find space underneath Clemens, but could not find it yet.
Sterling Clemens throwing that 0-3 ferociously into the turn, diamonding the corners with 4 laps to go. Chase Robertson with that paintbrush painting the bottom of turn number 1 and 2. What will he do here in the north turn? He gets up close to Clemens once again. Little tap to the bumper.
How much do you want to force the issue if you are Chase Robertson? Do you need to force the issue, especially given that Zach Orr is having all kinds of trouble keeping not only Ryan Robertson back, but I think Greg's back there as well. Tommy Neal's in there. Zach Orr is stacking up everybody from third on back. So Chase Robertson has no one to worry about behind him, really.
The battle is on for third and fourth as well, but everybody's looking at the leaders as the white flag comes out here at Bowman Gray Stadium. 1 more quarter-mile trip. Who's it going to be, James Pike?
Does Chase Robertson throw a bumper here in the north turn to try and take the checkered flag away from the rock star? Trying to throw the bumper, but it's not enough. And Sterling Clemens will strum his way into victory lane for the first time in 2025 in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. The rock star takes our sportsman feature.
Career win number 5 for the Rockstar. What an awesome drive by the driver of the 03 car, the Pendry Home Improvements Trailers of the East Coast Goats RV Repair Center. Of course, a great lineage of racing as well. His father, a stalwart in the series here and in the street stocks, and boy, oh boy, Clemens now picking up his first win of 2025, grabs that checkered flag, and he's off for his victory lap.
I think this is going to be big because they built a new car for this season, and this was the end game for them to find their way into Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. He gets his 5th career win, his 30th or the 30th win all time for the Clemens family at Bowman Gray, and that ties the Burke family for 29th place and the all-time families wins list at the Madhouse. Justin Mincy flexing the statistical muscle early.
Man, that was like, I don't know, that wasn't Superfly Snuka. That was like Polish Power Ivan Putski style muscle there with the stat. You know, if you knew that was Ivan Putski was a giant muscle. Anyway, let's talk about the guy that showed the most muscle tonight, and that is the rock star, Sterling Clemens, who's going to be down with Chris Carter. Let's toss it down to Victory Lane and see the celebration.
Got Bill Ward down here taking things out too as well. John Bell with the Winston-Salem Journal. Getting ready to draw. And he drew an 8 from the elite underground utility, Madhouse Scramble, Sterling Clemens drew a number 8 as he gets ready to come on out of this race car. I need you to get loud and make some noise! Hey, man. You had a miracle in that number 31. Good job, man. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I appreciate Chase running me clean. He's been very good this year. Hey, buddy. I got to thank all my sponsors, Pendry Home Improvements, Radical Fire Protection, Emerald Hour Realty, and Trailers of the East Coast. And big shout out to Dylan Ward for all the help, and my guys on the crew, my dad, Jeff, Lance, Mike. Appreciate all you guys in my family, Link Lash, and my wife, Nicole.
What would it mean to you to get another victory in our second Law Office of John Barrow Sportsman race, win 2 in one night? What would that mean to you?
Well, I tell you, it would mean a lot to me. My dad did that way back in the day. He's one of the few that's done it, so I'd like to do it myself. And we've had a little bit of a rough year, so that would really help turn it around.
There you go. Good job, buddy. Proud of you. Now send it back up to Randy Pulliam.
All right, Lincoln Lash, Lovin' Daddy in Victory Lane. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with the Ground Pounders, the NASCAR Modifieds.
Crew also pick up 4 of those delicious milkshakes courtesy of Chick-fil-A Thruway Shopping Center. All eyes on scoreboard. If your birthday falls on July 3rd of any year and you have any type of positive proof such as a driver's license, student ID, or health insurance card, go to the program sales station located on the concourse near the south gate between turns 1 and 2. And if you're one of the first 15 fans to arrive, you'll win a Great Clips gift certificate good at any participating Piedmont Triad area Great Clips salon for a free haircut. Great Clips is going to be great. Race fans, are you ready for the starting lineup for the first 25-lap modified feature on the Brands Golf Car Modifieds? Here is how they'll roll off. They qualify for their starting position, starting 23rd and shotgun on the field. In the Sister State Ford out of Winston-Salem is the number 11 of Justin Cummings. Starting 22nd in the number 3 Chevrolet is Brandon Wood. Starting 21st in the Greg Butcher Trucking Chevrolet, the number 35 driven here tonight by Shannon McGlamory. Rolling off 20th is the Surrey Chemical Taylor Owen Park Chevrolet out of Mount Airy, the number 99 of William E. Crab Smith. Starting 19th in the Brad's Golf Car Chevrolet out of Jonesville, the number 77 of Susan Harwell. Rolling off 18th is the Redmond Motorsports Marketing Mack Truck Chevrolet, Walnut Cove, the number 8 of Darren Redmond. Starting 17th in the Old Mill Tavern.
Oh boy, the action-packed excitement continues here from Bowman Gray Stadium You need to be here on person or watching live on Flow next Saturday, the Twin 50s for the Brad's Golf Cars NASCAR Modifieds, and a little birdie told me the Fans Challenge for the first time for the Twin 50s. Boy, oh boy, is it going to be action-packed next week at Bowman Gray Stadium and live on Flow Racing.
A fabulous reason to tune in. 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, your start time as we get set for 600 horsepower and more. And a starting lineup for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds for their first Twin 25 lapper.
Looking to make history tonight and starting from the pole. In the Citrus Safe Pinnacle, number 1, it's the ace, Burt Myers. Alongside in the Brad's Golf Cars Wahlberg Pizza Grill, number 75, it's the great Lee Jeffries.
Starting in third out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, driving the number 16 Taylor Auto Parts Machine, it's the showstopper, Chris Fleming. And starting in fourth, it's the 04 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, driving the Suzuki iHeartRadio Q104.1 Crazy Kevin Powell machine, it's Brandon Ward.
Starting fifth tonight and looking for his first win of the season, Jerry Hunt Supercenter, number 83, it's Tim Brown. To the outside, the QRC HVAC and refrigeration, number 10, it's Mike Spini.
Starting in fourth out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, driving the KW Locksmith machine, it's the working man, Jason Myers. Starting in eighth, driving the Walkertown Auto Sales 07 out of Walkertown, North Carolina, it's the real deal, Riley Neal.
Starting ninth, the great veteran in the Muddy Creek Motorsports, number 5, it's Randy Butner. And to the outside, the youngster in the S&P Lemonade, number 6, it's Slate Myers.
Starting in 11th out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the number 69 Black Sand Company, piloted by Superman, John Holloman the 4th. And starting in 12th, the number 51 out of Mount Olive, North Carolina, racing for Wagner Appliance Services, the Snowman, Junior Snow.
He might be 00 on the list, but the E-Metals car is number 1 in race fans' hearts. It's the Flying Taco, Danny Probst. And alongside the Coker Plumbing, number 44, it's Daniel Beeson.
Starting in 15th, it's the number 64 out of Lexington, North Carolina, the Big B Coffee machine, piloted by the comeback kid, Ethan Truel. Starting in 16th, the number 9 machine out of King, North Carolina, racing for L&R Transmission, it's Kyle Southern.
A veteran of Stadium Wars starts next in the number 39. It's Gerald Robertson. And then to the outside, the number 8 machine for Darren Redmond.
Starting in 19th, the number 77 machine out of Jonesville, North Carolina, racing for Wahlberg Grill and Pizza, the lovely Susan Harwell. Crab Smith in the 99 starts in 20th. Brandon Butner, Andrew Hara, Chase Lewis, your final 3 starters as we proceed the one to go from the flag stand.
This is it. A chance to make history. And it all starts with the Twin 25s. The double file restart that will begin it. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God. And 600 horsepower, the Modifieds, Twin 25 number 1 is underway, and the ace is out on top.
Burt Myers' chase for history has a good start. Big drive there for Chris Fleming, looking to the inside of Lee Jeffries to try and get second. Couldn't get underneath him. Has to tuck it behind him. Tim Brown working to the inside of Brandon Ward. This is furious fighting early on in this race, and all that's done is allow Burt Myers to clear this field by about 2 car lengths.
Yes, that side-by-side action you see right there. Tim Brown looking for his first win of the 2025 season. Moves that 83 up into the 4 spot. Brandon Ward comes down there and fills the hole right in front of the number 4. Little bit of bumper tag there through the turn.
Absolutely stacked them up, did Brandon Ward. And trouble over in the north turn. Kyle Southern has stuffed it in the fence, and that brings out our first call. 811 before you did caution. Also see Brandon Butner taking his car behind the wall.
Lap number 3, and it's the number 9 causing the first caution flag. Twin 25 lappers for the Brad's Golf Cars NASCAR Modifieds, NASCAR's original division of race cars, and such a great tradition here. But remember, these are single file restarts. Single file restarts that we'll see. So it's going to get physical from this point on. But this division right now, Brandon Ward is the man on top besides Burt Meyer's recent winning ways.
Even though Burt's made a recent charge of the points, Brandon Ward buoyed by that win in the Hayes Jewelers 200, the first of his career to open up the season as we get the one to go here. But Ward ahead of Burt Myers and Mike Speeney, who's just been really consistent. A lot of top 5 finishes this year. Third in points, Riley Neal, Tim Brown, fourth and fifth, tied with Skip Flores.
And Speeney right there, the big swing. You see him third in points. The week before that, the double points night, he entered in first in points, a 48-point swing. And now he's back in third, so anything can happen.
Coming to green, Jimmy Amsher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle to its place in the north turn. 4 laps on the board, 21 potentially from history for the ace, who takes off on this restart, gets a good jump, clears Jeffries by maybe about half the car length, enough to where there should not be a challenge on this opening lap. Where do the battles begin in this field now that they're single file? Keep an eye on Fleming, on Tim Brown. Maybe, I think there's your answer. Mike Speeney looking to the inside of the working man, Jason Myers.
Mike Speeney wants to get back up to the front of this division, and he's trying to do so here in this race. And now a shot to the back bumper from Jason Myers. A little return favor from the Chrome Horn.
A return favor. The problem is that Speeney's starting to check out, and he's starting to run down Brandon Ward, and he's getting away from Jason Myers. The front 5, all single file. Lee Jeffries starting to hold him up, though, a little bit. Rear end of the 75 sliding around as you get a good look at Speeney and what he's up to, and then you get a good look at this battle for the lead. Here comes the showstopper now with the rear Nerf bar all over Jeffries as Jeffries continues to slide out of the corner. That might open up an opportunity for the showstopper to make a move.
I'll tell you what, Fleming is ferocious right now in that Taylor Auto Parts number 16. He has a fast race car. He hasn't had quite the season, but now he uses the Chrome Horn. Dips it down onto the grass. Those left side tires sideways. Now contact in the south turn. 2 great veterans side by side. Wheel to wheel. Nerf bar into the north turn.
Chris Fleming desperate to get around Lee Jeffries. In trouble a little bit further behind. Mike Speeney has gone around to bring out the call 811 before you dig caution. Tim Brown was going to make the pass there too on Lee Jeffries, but the yellow flag comes out, and I wonder whether or not that Chris Fleming was able to complete that pass before they scored that lap. So they may reset this and put Jeffries in front of Chris Fleming.
A little bit of contact, it looked like there. A little bit of contact is what we're told.
Yes.
Possibly from the 4 car. Mike Speeney in 2 weeks has gone from the guy dominating this division with 4th place, 2nd place, 4th place. And now the wheels have come off for the QRC HVAC and refrigeration number 10, and he's back to 3rd in points, and now he's back to the back of the pack in this feature event.
Well, remember that I believe it was week 2 of the season that Speeney in the racing that night got into all of Bert and Jason and Slate and drivers.
He said he didn't get into Jason.
Well, but contact was made with all 3 Myers family members. And racers have long memories, and, you know, maybe you don't necessarily get your payback and you get back immediately, but maybe a convenient opportunity there.
Last week, he suffered a little bit of ill fate from another modified driver as well. So it's been interesting. It's like a soap opera here every week. You know, if I rub into you in this booth, the next week or maybe 4 weeks later, Pike, you're going to want to rub back into me.
I feel like this is probably a case of option B. Most importantly, though, we're looking at history for the ace, Burt Myers, who will lead this field back to a modern Chevrolet Pace car in its place in the north turn. 11 laps on the board. 14 now for Burt Myers to go get win number 102. Big bump, though, there from Chris Fleming, who checks up Lee Jeffries and just about checked up everybody else in the top 5.
Chris Fleming has a fast race car, and he tried really hard on that start. Burt Myers kind of was lagging back a little bit into his front bumper. Very interesting. 2 great veterans here at the stadium. 12 laps on the board. We talked about that history, but will the 16 be able to cast out that rod and reel him in?
Remember, Chris Fleming, no stranger to big wins here. Got the win in the Cookout Madhouse Classic back in February. Runs it a little bit wide in the corner, but this is his opportunity to try and not only run down Burt Myers, but maybe delay a little bit of history here. Tim Brown with a good race car tonight, though. This is as good as the 83 has looked just about all season, trying to reel in Lee Jeffries for that 3rd spot.
Oh, boy, but that number 1 right now is in a different zip code here. Unbelievable run and charge and drive off the corner for the driver of the number 1.
Yellow flag out once again. Call 811 before you dig caution out here in these Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. And one car has spun to the inside.
Gerald Robertson spun in that number 39 machine, a car that was built originally by John Boy Brown. It's one of the more interesting modified chassis in this field, and that's an underdog right there. A guy that's raced everything here, now from demo derbies all the way to the modified division.
Experience makes a huge amount of difference here.
You just got to love, though, the pathway.
Yes.
When a guy starts in stadium stocks, right, and makes it all the way to, say, modifieds or even demo derbies, that's just what you want to see at a local grassroots short track, is somebody race in the entry-level ranks and then work themselves up. No matter what success Gerald has, he's a modified racer at Bowman Gray Stadium.
So Robinson will regain his place at the rear end of the field. 16 laps on the board. 9 to go when we come back to it. Burt Myers searching for win 102. Potentially a big moment waiting. Jimmy Absher will pull that modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle to its spot in the middle of the north turn. Burt Myers, the control car for this restart. He takes off. Chris Fleming does a decent job to track that start and go, so it's not going to be a huge gap that Burt's able to take, but Chris Fleming needs to show a little bit more raw speed. Lee Jeffries, maybe that car's starting to come to life here as it gets a few more laps in the tires. It looks better now than it did to start this race, as maybe the air pressures have come up. Who knows? But Burt Myers, again, starting to gap Chris Fleming.
This is turning into a whooping. It's like Burt Myers is taking him behind the shed right here, because you saw the drive off, the traction and drive that car gets, the bite that car is getting off the corner. That number one is in a different zip code right now, that Pinnacle Citrus Safe machine.
That gap is only growing from Chris Fleming, and now we might have a battle for third, because Tim Brown's starting to use the nerve bar on Lee Jeffries. 19 laps up on the board, 6 laps to go potentially for Burt Myers.
Burt Myers doesn't pay attention much to history, but he's had no way of avoiding it lately at the Madhouse. He's been all smiles week after week, 3 weeks in a row that number one has seen victory lane at some point in the night.
5 laps to go. Chris Fleming now beginning to slide. I don't know if there's an answer unless we get a late restart here. Lee Jeffries has managed to solidify that third spot. If anything, Brandon Ward starting to put the pressure on Tim Brown to try and get fourth.
Yeah, it's kind of single file all the way around this track, but that battle is on where the number 83 of Tim Brown in 4th position right now. You want to talk about a hungry race car driver. Hasn't sat on the pole this year, which is super, super uncharacteristic, and hasn't gotten a race win yet.
All eyes watching how this ends. 2 laps to go when they come to the stripe. Now 1 for Burt Myers.
The number one. The pages of the history book are always open here. 4 spots back is the driver that he'll surpass tonight, and he'll see history out of his windshield. Burt Myers, win number 102 all time. He's on top of the all-time wins list at Bowman Gray Stadium. Undisputed for the ace.
No driver in the history of Bowman Gray Stadium has now won more races than the ace out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Burt Myers stands alone with 102 career victories at the Madhouse.
Tim Brown will have a chance to tie him in the second Twin 25, but right now, everybody here at the Madhouse rising to their feet and seeing the driver from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, a third-generation superstar that started his young career here in the grandstands, watching his father, Gary Myers, pace his way around this famed quarter mile. Now his son, Slate, races alongside of him each and every week as a fourth-generation superstar. But the salute from the fans as the number one takes the victory lap. 101 modified wins, 592 starts. That's a staggering win percentage, according to Justin Mincy, 17 win percentage. Wow, third best behind Paul Radford and Tim Brown. That is just a lot of greatness.
97 wins in weekly competition at the Madhouse, 3 wins in tour modified competition at the Madhouse, and 1 sportsman win coming into tonight. Add 1 to that weekly number to get him to 102.
And we'll have a draw down here, ladies and gentlemen, as well. The draw will determine the pill. You see Randy, our official starter, leaning in. He's going to have Bert, before he climbs out and celebrates, draw a pill for what the invert will be for the Madhouse Scramble, the second feature event of the night, the Twin 25s. But right now, history, the crew is down there, the family is down there. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam right now with all the history.
For the second 25 lapper coming up just a little later on tonight. Coming up next, the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 coming up next. All eyes on the scoreboard. Bert Myers draws number 12. Bert? Well, just talked to you a few minutes ago. I know this doesn't get over you. Win number 101 in your modified career, number 4 this season.
Holy moly. According to Mr. Dillner, I think that makes me the all-time winningest driver at Bowman Gray Stadium. Is that correct? Thank you very much.
That's right. You have 1 sportsman win to your credit, so that is 102 total wins for the A's Bert Meyer.
You know what? Somebody said I need to do a T-shirt for 100 wins. I said that means I might stop counting. I don't want to stop now. I want to keep going, and without the help of this team, the people behind me and my family, this would not be possible.
Bert, I know you want to thank your sponsors really quickly.
All right. Follow me.
History here at the Madhouse, and it's not over yet. Next up, the big race of the night. We'll have more modified action for you, but next up, the Stadium Stock 50. This is going to be awesome. Next on Flow Racing.
This group behind me, man, I could not do it without them. Congratulations, win number 101, and there's Dad. Mommy, Dad, coming on the golf cart. Win number 101. Bert Myers going over to pick up the winner's trophy at the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle. Open your doors, the beautiful floors, the Carolina Wood Floors. He and his crew also picking up 4 of those delicious milkshakes courtesy of Chick-fil-A at Thruway Shopping Center. Race fans, are you ready for the starting lineup for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50? They qualified for their starting position. Here's how they roll off. 26 competitors. Starting 26 is shotgun on the field. He is driving the car number 18 tonight. Is Kevin Cantor. Starting 25th in the Carolina Tri-Choice Realty and Amanda Tucker Dispensary Ford. Out of Lexington is the number 11 of Sydney Sanders. Starting 24th, he's driving the car number 67 tonight of Billy Andrews. Rolling up 23rd in the Young Sport, JSL and more, Hot Rod, the car number 10 of JB Lineberry. Starting 22nd in the Alpha Quality Drywall, Carolina Disco Turkeys Mustang from Tobaccoville, the number 83 of Michael Cates. Starting 21st, also the Carolina Disco Turkeys Tricycle Lawn Care Mustang from Tobaccoville, the number 51 of Austin Cates. Starting 20th in the Olivia Massage and Wellness Tricycle Lawn Care Ford Mustang out of Evans, number 86 of Dakota Miller. Starting 19th in the Alpha Quality Drywall, Carolina Disco Turkeys Mustang from Tobaccoville, the car number 27 of Andrew Cates. Rolling off 18th in the Stacking Pennies Performance, Cheeky Suds.
A beautiful night here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and beautiful moments as we see the family and pit crew You see towards the right there, Mama Myers in the pink shirt and Gary Myers, who we just spoke of, great modified racer here. A beautiful moment just a few moments ago. Gary just had back surgery. He's having a hard time getting around, but they drove him down there so he could take a picture with the crew. He just took a picture on the victory lane stage with Slate, his grandson, with Burt Myers, and you see the family there celebrating this great moment together.
No doubt at a moment like this that Gary Myers would make sure that he would be right there in the middle of this as sort of the patriarch of the entire Myers clan. And
right now you see it. We showed you the graphic. Now the graphic changes. 101 modified, 1 sportsman, 102 for Burt Myers. Still have one more modified race coming up tonight. Maybe we can flip the script again and Tim Brown can get his first. But right now, everybody is waiting for the main event of the night, and that is the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 for the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Division. And folks, this is their big night here at Bowman Gray, and there's been one guy at the top of the heap so far this season.
Moonlighted in the sportsman division last year, and now comes back to some familiarity, a little home cooking. Welcome back to Victory Lane, Brendan Lee Brendel. Who's going back to Victory Lane for the first time since August 19, 2023. It's his 31st career win. I'm excited to be back.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Brendel on the inside, making it look easy. Brandon Brendel will pick up his second win. He goes back-to-back to start the season.
Checkered flag is out, and Brandon Lee Brendel does it. This guy is virtually unstoppable. He has 3 wins in his last 5 starts. This is the hottest hand in the deck. We got a pretty fast race car this year. Hopefully we can continue and keep it going.
Pure domination so far for Brendan Lee Brendel, the guy they call Scooter. Oh boy, can he do it again? So far he has been virtually unstoppable, but let's see who can stop him tonight. The Stadium Stock 50, let's give you the starting lineup. There is Brendel's number 43 machine. Starting on the pole for the QRC Stadium Stock 50, from Moxville, North Carolina, the driver of the Magic Pool and Spa machine, it's Grayson Keaton, the Slim Reaper. To the outside, the Grand Master of the Stadium Stock Division and the Jerry Hunt Supercenter, number 24, it's the great AJ Sanders.
Starting in the 3rd position in the number 81 out of Lexington, North Carolina, the multi-time champion in this division, driving for Greg Butcher Trucking, it's Chuck Wall. And starting to his outside in 4th, the Carter Insulation number 5 machine out of Moxville, North Carolina, it's Connor Keaton.
Starting 5th tonight in the beautiful number 80 machine, that's the Triad machine for Luke Smith. And to the outside, the driver we're talking all about, the Infinity Insurance Group, number 43, it's Brendan Lee Brendel in the 43.
Starting in 7th, the number 90 machine out of Manteca, California, and now living in Lexington, North Carolina, racing the Leonard Salvage Machine. Winner earlier this year, it's Robert Bug Stramiska. Starting in 8th, the number 47, Patriot Market car out of Lexington, North Carolina, Tyler McDonald.
Starting in 9th position is a tasty ride with the S&P Lemonade on the hood. Yeah, the Cars machine, the number 95 of Levi Holt. And to the outside is a Peanut, the Kimono Japanese Restaurant, number 22 for Peanut Baker.
Starting at 11, the number 60 machine out of Boonville, North Carolina, racing for Prevent and Son Plumbing, it's Brad Michalowski. And starting in 12th, the number 88 machine, originally out of Fort Pierce, Florida, now residing in Lexington, North Carolina for Greg Butcher Trucking, it's Zach Taylor.
Trying to cowboy his way up to the front is the driver of the 26, the Cowboys Garage Machine for Ricky Wall. To the outside, starting 14th, the Van Noy Construction Machine. Love his open trailer, seeing it every week. It's Carson Reed.
Starting in 15th, the number 44 in Moxville, North Carolina, racing for Dean's Tree Service, it's Blaze Sanders. And starting in 16th, the number 7 out of Moxville, North Carolina, racing for Yankin Concrete and Finishing, it's not a Pinto, it's not a Mustang, it's a Pintang, driven by Chris Allison.
Starting 17th in the number 46 machine, Jeff Adams Grading. it's Colton Brown. To the outside in the Stacking Pennies podcast, number 15, it's Andre Chavez.
Starting in 19th, the number 27 out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina, racing for Tysingers Lawn Care, it's Austin Cates. And starting in 20th, the 86 out of Advance, North Carolina, for Albia Therapeutic Massage and Wellness, it's Dakota Miller.
Starting in 21st in the Disco Turkeys, number 51, it's Andrew Cates. On the outside, their father in the car we know as Frankenstein. The number 83, it's Michael Cates.
Starting in 23, the number 10, racing for Young's Florist, it's Lightbright, J.B. Lineberry. And starting in 24th in the 67 car out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, for Chevette Roofing and Guttering, it's Billy Andrews.
The last row, starting 25th in the number 11 dispensary Pink Machine, it's Sydney Sanders. And to the outside, the Virginia driver of the number 18, the Lindley Plumbing Machine, for Kevin Cantor. That is the lineup. 26 cars strong, the biggest stadium stock field of the season. The Buzz Bombers are ready to go green.
Ready to rock and roll for 50 laps. Here's a quick refresher on the Stadium Stock Division, the type of cars that you see here. About 190, 200 horsepower, mid-size rear-wheel drive machines, anywhere from 2,300, 2,350 ballpark pounds, and most, usually, 2.3-liter engine, old Fox body Mustangs from the 80s. Modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle in its place in the north turn. We're ready to go for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50. Grayson Keaton leads them, and we will not take that as a start. Checked it up there.
We almost had a big wad up about midway back through the field, but a great job by these stadium stockers right here. Bugster Miska got all sorts of sideways right there. But hey, that's what happens. This is a race that means so much. So you're trying a little cat and mouse games at the front. The Slim Reaper now on the inside with the Grandmaster AJ Sanders to the outside. QRC HVAC and Refrigeration 50. The green flag unfurls, and once again, it's going to be tripped off. Yellow flag is out. Attempt number 2 is a no-go.
Between Keaton and Sanders, somebody's getting a warning off that start. The question is who? We're going to find out.
It looks like we're going to try for attempt number 3. Will the third time be a charm? They're slowing down the pace now in the north turn. The Slim Reaper, the Grandmaster, lead them to the green for the Stadium Stock 50. Green flag is out.
And this time it will stick, and we're underway with the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 as Keaton takes over that point spot. Look at Chuck Wall going to the inside of A.J. Sanders to make this work in quick order. And how about Luke Smith trying to get third as the Grandmaster stuck on the outside and may have just about clipped the fence there. He was big wide on the exit of the north turn.
A.J. Sanders hanging on for dear life on the outside. Luke Smith, that fast number 80 on the inside. Now up front, the Slim Reaper hanging on with the number 81 Black Machine of Chuck Wall to his bumper. Connor Keaton spins. Big pile up here. Could have been a lot worse, but Keaton, the other Keaton, Connor, goes around in turn 4.
I think only one car made contact, and I believe the answer as to which car that was may be Brad Michalowski. He's got damage to the left front. That hood is caved in just a hair on the number 16 machine, working its way down the back stretch now, sort of middle of the pack, right behind Chris Allison's Pintang.
Yeah, Michalowski with some damage on his car. I'm wondering if there was some, contact to see the number 5 car go around there. I didn't have my eye on it.
I could not see who it was that got into Keaton, but with the way that Keaton went around, there was help.
There was help.
There was definitely.
So you were really upset about your closing of the, Hallmark store around the block here, but nobody's going to send. Bet you the 90 isn't getting a Hallmark card of Robert Scherminska, isn't getting a Hallmark card from Connor Keaton after that contact.
That would. I think that's a pretty accurate assessment of things there, Dylan.
Them Keaton boys, second place finish for Connor the last time out. Well, he's going to have a long way to go, but we have not a short time to get there. We've got 50 lapper. But, hey, let's give you a little trivia right here tonight. The 34th running of the Stadium Stock 50 here at Bowman Gray Stadium. The first race being held in 1991. We'll come back with the answer. Who won it? Hit hashtag Madhouse on Twitter. Why not? I mean, there's no rules here. Chuck says hashtags are a thing of the past there on the back row. But, I mean, Chuck is very modern. He's up on everything. So, but let's just do it. Let's hashtag Madhouse and give us the answer of that. We know up here in the booth. We want to see if you know. Chuck Bush back there, do you know? He just shook his head. I tried to get him to yell, but he was too busy with his souvenir Clash Bowman Gray Cup. Hey, the 95 is also stopped on the track. The Lightning McQueen machine is in turn 1 and 2 with some damage on the left front of that. You see the tow truck going to him right now. Levi Holt, one of the fast cars here at the stadium stock. Hey, let's give you a little update, too. There was some controversy brewing earlier today in this division. And, this is a very important race. There were some cars that were, pumped. Excuse me. They had their engines pumped. And, they found some cars to have a little extra horsepower. So they gave some of these cars extra weight to run tonight. Some of those cars, we are told, included the number 2 of Carson Reed, the 44 of Blaze Sanders, the 51 of Cates, and the 16 of Neil Cantor. There was also some talk that possibly some of those other cars included the Keaton Boys cars and the Grandmaster himself. So, A.J. Sanders. So, be interesting to see how everything shakes out, but the officials here do such a great job. There's a lot of rumbling in the pits. I'm sure by next week we will fully know the facts. So, all right, let's take a little break on Flow Racing as we tow off Lightning McQueen, and we'll be back with the rest of the 50-lapper. Word from down in the pit area here at Bowman Gray Stadium that the 24 and the Keaton Boys might have pumped okay in that early inspection period, though the 44, 16, and 2 did not. The rules are 1 pound per cubic inch here. So they have a CC. They have a 2,350 cubic CC, 2,350, a lot easier CC engine in these cars, so they have to weigh 2,350 pounds. So on another note, there's one car you don't see out there tonight, the white and black Austin Long machine, the number 36. He was disqualified because of finding valve springs and rockers that were not within the stock spec for the engine for his car. So Austin Long is not competing tonight in the Stadium Stock 50. But once again, the cars that were pumped that were a little bit bigger as far as horsepower were the 44, the 16, and the 2. So they got some added weight tonight. So some interesting things afoot here in the garage area, the pit area here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
I think it's a testament to just how much this race means to this division, that everybody wants to try and give themselves a competitive advantage, especially on this night. But sometimes maybe you take it a little bit further than you intend, than you want. Doesn't necessarily work out the way you'd hope.
Yeah, we had heard earlier today that a few of those other cars pumped big, but officials telling us that is not the case. So 4 cars having some issues. 3 of them added weight, and then Austin Long DQ. Look at the fans in the stands. You see checkered flags. I just saw the program. Love the programs. There was also, I believe, QRC and was handing out some giveaways tonight. There's some fans out there. So really cool. The program here is something that's a great tradition at Bowman Gray Stadium. But, hey, we're going back to green. Lap 8 on the board for the Buzz Bombers.
Chuck Wall.
Look who's on the outside there.
Yeah, familiar faces, right?
Mm-hmm. Chuck Wall, we called him Bad Luck Chuck after last week's double points fiasco where he went from being second in points to 10th in points. Can he make the bleeding stop and return to victory lane? Green flag is back out.
Chuck Wall with a good run to the inside. Brandon Lee Brindle stuck up top. A.J. Sanders there to the inside. Three of the absolute best in this division. Right at the front of this, Luke Smith, Bugs Tremiska, Tyler McDonald. Pretty much everybody who's been anybody, is anybody, wants to be anybody in this division right there at the front of the field already.
Yeah, there's they say the cream rises to the top. Now, there's about like 7-8 cars of real cold foam cream at the top of this field right now.
Something to that effect. Chuck Waldo has stretched it out on Brandon Lee Brindle. Maybe about 3 or 4 car lengths. A.J. Sanders trying to hold off Luke Smith. Luke Smith with a really good look at the inside here. We may have a battle for third on our hands.
Luke Smith peeking to the bottom of Sanders. Little bit of contact as Smith washes up there as well. Now here comes McDonald. He might see a little daylight, but Luke Smith slams the door.
Luke Smith not letting any sort of opportunity open up for Tyler McDonald. Chuck Wall, meanwhile, about to hit lap traffic here. That could make this battle for the lead interesting because they're double wide in front of him. Nowhere for him to go. So that'll allow Brandon Brindle to close in, and now the lap traffic gets out of the way.
Wow, some hairy moments right there. The 67 on the outside, and so is Lineberry, who's stuck behind that machine. Lap traffic playing a part here early on in this 50-lapper.
Trying to figure out where to go is Lineberry. Just about blocks out Michalowski. He's trying to make the pass there on the 67, but it's just stacking up everybody behind. This man, Chuck Wall, who's out in front now and has got a little bit of daylight on Brandon Brindle.
Big time lap traffic, 3 wide into the north turn, 67 on the top. Oh, all sorts of stack up here.
Big time stack up here all over the place. Everybody, everywhere. This looks like a Los Angeles freeway almost.
Look at this. The Pintang's not happy. He drives into light bright. He is not happy. Peanut in the grass. Here comes the Pintang. Lineberry now out of the way, but the Peanut has spun.
The Peanut has spun. No yellow flag yet. Peanut off the racing surface. And now trouble there a little bit further back. I believe that's Austin Cates, who I think got into JB Lineberry. Or rather, no, Andrew Cates.
Yeah, Andrew Cates is spun. The number 51 is around. There was a brother swap earlier that was supposedly going to happen where Austin was going to get in Andrew's car and Andrew was going to get in Austin's car. They practiced. They sussed out each other's cars. But right before the race, they told me they're back in their cars. So you got it right, buddy. But I'll tell you what, I got to say, the Pintang there was not happy with lap traffic. He drove into the back side of JB Lineberry's number 10 with a vengeance right there down the back straightaway. Some hairy moments here with lap traffic for the Stadium Stalkers.
Take a breath.
and one thing I want to clear up, too, that lap car that was on the outside, the 67 car, they were saying that is Billy Andrews, but I believe it's Drew Mason that's in that car. So, you know, they said it's Billy Andrews. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I'm pretty sure it is Drew in that machine. So we had Billy Andrews on our lineup, but Drew Mason I know was practicing that car. That is his car.
Here's a look at the points in the Stadium Stock Division after the double points madness we saw 2 weeks ago. Brandon Brindle ahead of Tyler McDonald by 16, Luke Smith 20, Connor Keaton 30, and maybe not a huge surprise that those top 3 all running in the top 5. Then the Keaton brothers, A.J. Sanders, Brad McLowski, Austin Long, who we talked about not running tonight, Carson Reed, and Chuck Wall, who had the big disappointment, now is going to have to rally from 64 points back. But this is a good way to start a rally, get back up front, and get a few laps led.
You know, he went from second in points all the way to 10th. That is just absolutely shows you what double points racing means. And then you see that 43, who's just been virtually unstoppable, Brendan Lee Brindle. Scooter has been scooting boogie above anybody in this division. Look at this. Win, second, and then a win. I mean, unless you just go out there and sweep every race, it just does not get any better than that.
Just about as good as you're going to find realistically, because it's Bowman Gray. It's hard to win every week. So, 2 to go coming up here at the stripe, and the choose cone is out, I believe, for the first time. Chuck Wall to the bottom, Brindle to the bottom, A.J. Sanders to the bottom. Luke Smith will be the first car to take the high line. Looking to see if anybody else does. McDonald, Tremiska going low. How about Michalowski and Blaze Sanders going to the top line? Cates down to the bottom, Allison to the bottom. The 26 going to go up top. Keaton, Carson Reed.
Luke Smith going to the top is the big thing, though.
I think yes. Yeah.
Luke Smith going to the top. That's your pole sitter. This is the only race where we do time trial qualifying for this division and start straight up. This is the only time that you see the fast cars at front, and Luke Smith with the time at 15.706 seconds starting on the point here. And now on the outside of Chuck Wall as we come back to green, lap 20 on the board.
Green flag out once again. Luke Smith looking for any sort of opportunity to get down in front of Brandon Lee Brendel. He will not find it, though. Oh, big stack up, though, over in the middle of the south turn. Buck Stramiska has gotten into it. Call 811 before you take caution out once again.
Boy, Bug's car is tore up. That is one of the most beautiful race cars, that black and pink number 90. And there's a significant damage on that machine, as well as Austin Cates' number 27 Ty Singer Lawn Care machine.
Bug's car is a little squashed.
Oh, yeah. It squashed a Bug for sure. But Cates, I mean, you know, that's a family that's puts a lot of hard work into these race cars. You know, 3 cars they bring out here. Of course, their father, part of the track crew here at Bowman Gray Stadium, races as well. Let's take a look at the replay right here. And, you know, you see further back here, there's the 90 getting in and gets into Blaze Sanders. So that's what triggered it. And then when he checked up there was nowhere for Cates to go.
You get a good look now at some of the damage on the left rear of Bug Stramiska's machine. Really torn up there. All sorts of sheet metal pulled away back to the frame.
Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing, and we'll be back with the rest of the Stadium Stock 50. We are back here for the Stadium Stock 50. The choose cone is out and up front. This gives big opportunity to Brad Michalowski, who now moves to the outside of the front row, to the outside of Chuck Wall, the 60, looking for his first career Bowman Gray Stadium triumph. Green flag back out halfway through the 50.
Off they go. Chuck Wall with a good jump. Luke Smith immediately going to follow suit. Tyler McDonald there. Just nothing going for Michalowski. He's going to lose third. Might lose fourth here. Here comes Brandon Lee Brendel to the inside. A.J. Sanders looking for a spot in the top 5 and just nothing doing.
Sanders now. Here comes the 43 looking to get himself back up to the front of the field. He was as high as second. Now he's in fourth. Wall in the lead. Luke Smith, Tyler McDonald, Brendel. Now the battle is on between Michalowski and Sanders.
Michalowski just trying to hang on to any sort of track position whatsoever and tried to cut down in front of Sanders about a lap ago. Entry to the south turn, could not find a gap, loses the spot to Sanders. Here comes Keaton following the gap. Carson Reed, maybe, no. There's your place for Michalowski to slide in, and that's going to put him, I believe, 6th or 7th, by my count, 7th, I believe. here when he finally found a spot in the inside lines. The outside restart did not pay off.
Lap traffic coming into the situation right now, as well as Lineberry is on the bottom and everybody's getting around the light bright black and green number 10. Battle is on for second position, though. Tyler McDonald, a little tip tap, and now he's got lap traffic in front of him. Is it going to be a pick? The 47 in second position right now, side by side. They go 3 wide by the lap car into the north turn. Great racing here at Bowman Gray. Give the spot to Tyler McDonald.
Tyler McDonald, I think, rightfully recognized that if this goes green the rest of the way, he needed the opportunity, but no sooner than I say that do we end up with another call. 811 before you did caution as Colton Brown slows in the south turn on lap 33.
Brown, the orange machine. The spinner.
Brown, the orange machine. True.
Yeah.
True.
Brown, yeah.
But very oxymoronic.
Hey, you know, we had a trivia question. 34th running of the Stadium Stock 50. The first one was, do you guys got it? Do you guys got it? Rob Neely won the first ever Stadium Stock race. Michael Cox won the first pole. The blazing time of 17.600 seconds. You know, now we're in the 15s and a speed of 51 miles per hour.
Things have changed a little bit since then, I'd
Just
say.
a little. They were very stock back then. Now we've got aftermarket bodies. You know, we've got some pretty darn stout engines in these cars. And these things are race cars.
I think if you want a good example of the variety of chassis you see, there are straight rail mini stock chassis here.
Look at Michael Cates' Mustang there, Frankenstein. And then
right
next to it, that's the perfect example. Right next to it, Grayson Keaton's car.
I'm about to say the Keatons who run very dirt-inspired machines.
Oh, they race on dirt.
In this division. And then you've got your sort of straight rail chassis like at A.J. Sanders. And then you've got cars like the Pintang, all count as stadium stocks here at Bowman Gray.
Yeah, you know, some of them border a little bit on Pro 4. But, you know, hey, the Buzz Bombers are one of the most popular divisions here at Bowman Gray. Then you got the Pintang. Everybody loves the Pintang. But it's a mixed bag, man.
The Pintang or the Pintang?
Yeah, you can't do it every time.
Oh, but it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I won't go that far.
Fair.
Chris Allison sporting some new T-shirts. We saw him in the stands before.
Did see that, yes.
Choose Cone was back out. And once again, Luke Smith to the top. Oh, a little bit of contact there on the start by Chuck Wall. Boots the 80 back to third. McDonald to second. Grayson Keaton now. Oh, he's trying on the bottom of Luke Smith, heading into the north turn.
I would say that was more than a little bit of contact. I'd say that was a lot of contact there. And Luke Smith just got moved out of that groove and out of the center of the racetrack by Keaton to go up into the third spot. Brandon Lee Brendel will follow. A.J. Sanders may take the spot. And then the other Keaton brother, Connor, might have a shot at this too.
Oh, Luke is trying for some traction on the outside, and it's the tough way to do it as they slide out of turn number 4. Sanders to the bottom and Smith to the outside. Now the battle is on right in front of them. Brendan Lee Brendel to the inside of the number 1, but then, we've got a spinner. Yellow is out.
We've got a car stopped. I believe that's Dakota Miller in the 86 out of Advanced North Carolina.
Just when it was getting good.
I think if you're Luke Smith, you'll take a breather, though.
Yeah, Luke Smith wanted that caution more than anybody.
Mm-hmm. He got a hip check from Chuck Wall.
Yeah, big
there was
time on that
absolutely contact there on that initial start.
All is fair in love and war here at Bowman Gray Stadium, I guess.
This counts as love?
Well, sometimes you love people, and sometimes
I don't think
it's a 50-lap war.
I'm about to say, I don't think there's a lot of love in this race. I think there's a lot of war in this race.
Yeah, it's the 50, man. The QRC 50.
It is the 50 indeed. So
Grayson Keaton now move him up to the third spot.
Very, very methodically, too. I think that's maybe the most impressive thing. Keaton, who's effectively had to rally in this race.
Yes.
And now pulling off into the grass, potentially to cool tires.
Oh, look at this. That is awesome. Look at this.
So they are pulling off into the grass to cool tires, I think. Yeah. Get a good look there at Keaton doing it. Also, Luke Smith doing the same.
Dirt trackers.
And the 5 of Connor Keaton being stopped by officials here right at the start-finish line.
How about that? Grayson Keaton and the number 80 of Luke Smith. You don't see that at a paved Saturday night short track. I was at Carolina Speedway for the Carolina Sprint Car Tour last night, and under caution, you would see the drivers drive up into the loose stuff, into the cushion, into the loose dirt to try to cool off that right rear tire, and those sprint cars are doing it. Well, these dirt boys, like the Keaton boys, you know, they see that, and then Luke Smith's like, well, I'm going to do the same darn thing. A little bit of damage on Blaze Sanders' car.
Yeah, see the damage. I also want to take a moment to appreciate just the Franken-Ford nature of that car. There's a Ford Fusion nose on that machine, I think first gen, on Blaze Sanders' machine.
Yeah.
So Ford Fusion nose, Ford Mustang decal right in the center of the nose, Ford Mustang decal on the rear, but I think the rear of the greenhouse from about the B-post back, to me, I believe that's a early 2000s Ford Taurus rear window between the B and the C pillar, I think. So, if you're a Ford lover, that car encompasses about 4 or 5 different models as the choose cone will come out.
Let's watch the choose cone. We love the choose cone here at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's really cool for the stadium stockers to get this opportunity. 10 laps to go. 10 laps to go. You know Chuck Wall's going to choose the inside. Will McDonald go to the outside? No, he stays on the inside. That gives the Slim Reaper the chance to move up to the top side. The top side has not been good. The top side has been terrible, but he is going to take the risk.
You figured he probably would. Luke Smith going up there as well to try and regain some of that track position. There's a good look at Sanders. So Fusion decals there. Mustang running right there in the center of the nose. Lights are off.
Right next to Peanut, too. Love that view right there. You see the pace car dip off. Beautiful field of stadium stocks assembled here on a summer night at Bowman Gray Stadium. 41 laps on the board. The green flag is back out. All to the lead. The Grayson Keaton machine fouls in underneath him now, side by side for second and third.
Moves him out of the way, does Grayson Keaton, to find room on the inside. He dirt tracked that thing around the corner to find a hole underneath. He's going to get into Chuck Wall again. Contact all over the place for the race lead, and now Chuck Wall might get a little bit of breathing room.
The gloves have come off here in the closing stages of the QRC Stadium Stock 50 battles all over this racetrack.
Chuck Wall now trying to stretch it out. Grayson Keaton trying to dirt track this thing, use that experience on Brown Racetrack to make this work on the asphalt of Bowman Gray as they come to 5 laps to go.
Brendan Lee Brendel moves up to fourth in the 43. He's got a, now Brendel, contact with Luke Smith. Contact again in the south turn. Can he hang on? No, he spins. Brendel's miraculous season might be coming to a close as far as his streak of top 2 finishes.
Brendel and Luke Smith get together in the south turn, and we have a late race yellow. Those two were all over each other. Black flag being shown to someone.
Levi Holt.
Levi Holt in the 95.
But the big headline right here is your points leader. Your points leader right there. Finishing first, second. And right now in this 26-car field, we are going to see that car go to the rear. Here is the contact. A little contact before that, but then right there, Brendel comes down. They just get together. And the 43 spins it, could not save it.
But,
big plot twist.
And I don't necessarily know if it counts as a defense, but just for more context, those two made contact at the north turn before they got to the south turn as well. So that did not just start there. That's just where it ended.
Yes. Big swing here, though. You're talking about the guy that's been unstoppable this year. We highlighted it at the beginning of this race, Brendan Lee Brendel, Scooter. And right now, he's got to go way back in this field. He's going to be hurting. Single file restart as we approach overtime, possibly within 5 laps to go in this 50-lap feature. They go to single file. That is the rule that they stated in the drivers' meeting.
So how this will shake out will be very, very interesting. Waiting to see what kind of signal we get from the flag stand before we go back to green flag racing.
Well, Chuck Wall, the leader. We've got some debris that's being picked up in turn number 2, but Chuck Wall, the leader. Last week, a rare DNF, finished outside of the top 5 for the first time this year. 16th place finish. On double point night, we talked about the fact that he was second in points going into that night, dropped him back to 10th in points. We were kind of teasing him, calling him No Luck Chuck. But he is the defending winner of the Stadium Stock 50. And right now, he is poised to do that again. But Keaton, to the backside of him, made it interesting the last restart.
Did indeed. Did indeed. And will we see something again? I imagine that Keaton will be even more aggressive this time around because we may not get another restart when we go back to green flag racing. Keeping an eye here, I see yellow still out. So no green flag anytime soon at least.
The 24 of A.J. Sanders has not had the best night. He sits in 5th position. He is tied with Brendan Lee Brendel as far as all-time Stadium Stock 50 wins, both of them with 5 wins. Chuck Wall looking for his 3rd in the 34-year history of this race. So we're going to extend this race, it looks like, to overtime, over the 50-lap distance. But did you know what the longest Stadium Stock 50 was? That was in 2017 when Chase Hunt won a race that was extended to 69 laps.
So will we get 19 extra laps of yellow and green, or will we get one restart here to go? Lights are off the modern Chevrolet pace vehicle, pace car, if you look at the graphics, in fairness. So Jimmy Amsher will get out of the way, and it will be on Chuck Wall to get us back going. Grayson Keaton, the main challenger here, Tyler McDonald, Luke Smith, A.J. Sanders there. 14th time this race has gone into any form of overtime situation throughout its 30-plus year history. Chuck Wall with an opportunity to bring it home for Greg Butcher Trucking out of Lexington, North Carolina. One of the best to pilot a Stadium Stock here. What kind of jump will he get or not get? Keaton tried to game it, ends up getting himself in trouble. Makes contact there with Tyler McDonald, so no opportunity to close down on Chuck Wall yet. That might be enough breathing room for Chuck Wall if we don't get a yellow.
Oh, that could be the story of the race there. Little jam up on that restart. White flag is out, but some contact throughout the field. Will we get a clean path back to the checkered flag? Cars going everywhere around the Madhouse, but coming around the north turn for the 37th time in his career, Chuck Wall wins the QRC 50.
Chuck Wall gets the job done as Brad Michalowski broke on the last lap and stacked up a good chunk of the back half of the field. Wasn't sure we were going to make it back, as Brandon Lee Brendel and Luke Smith having a little bit of fun just behind Chuck Wall. A few people expressing their displeasure, as it were.
The 43 is not happy with Luke Smith, and he is making it known to the back bumper of the number 80. The 80 escapes. And now Brendel goes to the pit area. Whew. Chuck Wall pulls into victory lane. The Greg Butcher Trucking Little Donuts machine. 37th career win for the great Chuck Wall. Back-to-back in the QRC Stadium Stock 50, and his 3rd career triumph in the biggest race of the season for the Buzz Bombers, this great division here at Bowman Gray.
Just a classic sort of, if you know what you're doing and you have experience at Bowman Gray, you can use it to your advantage. Fended off the challenge, especially from Grayson Keaton late, and just made sure that he had control of the rear of the car, which sounds very basic, obvious, but for as much as we saw these cars step out from underneath themselves on corner exit, I truly can't think of a time where I saw a lot of that from Chuck Wall. And not that that was the only difference in this race. Track position helped, but went a long way to establishing his spot in Carolina Wood Floors victory lane tonight.
Chuck Wall, the winner of the Stadium Stock 50, Peanut, Baker, Cantor, Zach Taylor from Little Donuts, all parking their cars to go congratulate him in victory lane. From no luck Chuck to good luck Chuck, the winner tonight. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam in victory lane.
Getting unbuckled. Got a cold drinking that orange Gatorade down. Tastes really good. Let him hear it.
Chuck, let's let our folks up here in Flow Racing. Wow, you defended your Stadium Stock 50 championship. Third win on the season, win number 37 in your career. Just keeps getting better and better.
Oh, I couldn't ask for anything better. The car was great. I think the right side tire's giving up on me a little bit. These tires are pretty old. I got a sequence I got to do, got to remember. I got to thank my God above, my family, and Bad Brad. I know he's a little under weather right now. Hope you get to feeling better, Brad. Can't thank my sponsors, Greg with Greg Butcher Trucking, Adam with John Baker Plumbing, Jim and Teresa at J&T Services, Little Donuts, Advanced Auto Parts Sponsor Series, the QRC sponsored the race. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people. I'm a little speechless right now. Guys working tirelessly in the shop. You know, we tore his car up. Hadn't got a chance to race it, but we got to practice. And I thought we had a pretty good piece, and I think we do.
He did. I want to ask you, a couple of those restarts when Grayson got behind you, got a little squirrely there, but you were able to hold him off.
Oh, evidently he had a bad car, a bad fast car. I thought we was a little bit quicker than him at the beginning, but it might have been because he had a left rear tire going down. When the caution came out, I was sitting there riding, I was like, dang, that tire looks low. And then going down the back stretch, I was like, well, it really looks low. And then we went around the next lap, and it was on the rim. I was like, yeah, he's done.
Chuck.
I know you want to go over there and get your winner's trophy for picking up the win.
Also of note, fun little trivia nugget, it is an engine in Chuck Wall's machine from Randy Butner, driver in the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. That was the power plant, the power Chuck Wall to victory. We'll take a break. We'll be back on the other side with more action for the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series from Bowman Gray Stadium live on Flow Racing.
Choice Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your #1 source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling on the road and off. Choice Tire and Automotive offers check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. They bring the best quality service possible in everything they do, and their team is committed to providing the best workmanship and customer experience possible. Choice Tire and Automotive's hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Give Choice Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
For the second Sportsman 20, rolling off 16, the shotgun on the field, the car number 37 of Chris Massey. Starting 15, driving the number 77, usually driven by Dylan Ward, is Jeff Snow. Starting 14, the car number 24 is A.J. Burness. Rolling off 13th, the car number 15 of T. Dawson. Starting 12th, the car number 8 is Tyler Kepley. Starting 11th, the car number 12 of Justin Taylor. Rolling off 10th, the car number 51 of Austin Taylor. Starting 9th, car number 7 of Connor Branch. Starting wins in the 0-3 will roll off 8. Starting 7th, the car number 31 is Chase Robertson. Rolling out 6th, the car number 55 is Zach Orr.
Lots of racing action ready to go here at Bowman Gray Stadium. The night is not over. Let's give you the lineup for Sportsman 20-lapper number 2. On the pole, the Auto Supply of Thomasville, number 38, the good guy, Mitch Gales. To the outside, the North Carolina Trailers, number 0. The Zero Hero, it's Kirk Sheets.
Starting in third out of Royal Hall, North Carolina, the number 21 Alliance Insurance Group, driven by the Tiger, Tommy Neal. Starting fourth in the 28 out of Lexington, North Carolina, racing for Velocita, it's Billy Gregg.
Starting in the 5th position of the East Coast Wings, number 23, Saucy. It's the number 23 of Ryan Robertson. To the outside, the Pulse Vaca, number 55 for Zach Orr.
Starting in 7th, the number 31 out of Walburg, North Carolina, racing for Sammy Sliders, it's Chase Robertson. Starting in 8th, it's the 03 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, for Goats RV Repair, the Rockstar, Sterling Clemens.
Starting in the 9th position, the Jimmy's Smokehouse, number 7 for young Connor Branch. To the outside, the Pro Choice Detailing 51, it's Austin Taylor.
Starting in 11th, in the number 12 car out of Kernersville, North Carolina, for Taylor Enterprises, it's Donkey Strong, Justin Taylor. Starting in 12th, of the number 8 Bark Buddies machine, also to Winston-Salem, it's the Dog, Kyler Kipling.
Starting in lucky position, number 13 is the number 15 car, sponsored by Carolina Cowboys and Shitty Coolers. It's T. Dawson. And to the outside, the Andy Avery's Tavern, number 24, it's the Furnace, AJ Furnace.
Starting in 15th, the number 77 of Jeff Stowe. Starting in 16th, the number 37 machine out of Pofftown, North Carolina, racing for American Junk Removal Company, Chris Massey. As the lights have gone off the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle, we are 1 to go to the start of our second feature here for the Sportsman division.
You saw the last time we were here, we've had some dust-ups, and now will we see some more? Well, that was last week. This is this week. Twin 20s, number 2, set for you. Mitch Gales leads him into the south turn.
Mitch Gales with a good run there. Kirk Sheets trying to find some spot on the bottom. Just no luck on these restarts. Sheets got pinned up on the outside in the first race, and he's going to spin and make contact with Tommy Neal. And a few cars get bunched up behind as Tommy Neal will drift in the grass in the infield of the call 811 before you did. Caution comes out once again.
Neal goes for a spin cycle. The Zero Hero goes from hero to 0 really quickly on lap number 1. T. Dawson involved as well. Austin Taylor involved as well. Now the 21 of the Tiger, Tommy Neal, will go to the back. It looked like it was a good shot for his 55th win, starting up front after all the drama that he's had the previous weeks here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Now he's got to go back to the back of the pack.
And do it all over again. Same thing for Kirk Sheets as well, who had great track position to start this and loses it almost as soon as he had it.
Well, that was interesting, folks. That was just good racing there. That's what happens. I mean, you know, you look at the replay here, the Zero Hero, it's tough to get around on the outside here. And, you know, he comes down, just a little bit of contact, but that's just regular racing contact there. And I think it was one of those deals where they just touched wheels the wrong way. And that's what kind of like really jumped the rear of that 21. We'll see it better here on this replay, I think. And, yeah, you know, that type of contact that bounces the car.
I couldn't tell whether or not maybe Neal made contact with Sheets first and the rear end stepped out, or if the contact made the rear end step out. I couldn't figure out like which.
It kind of hopped. So it looked like it made contact and the wheel kind of, you know, hopped over the left side wheels of Kirk Sheets' machine. So, you know, the two drivers, that, you know, the two people that know? Those two drivers. Not us up here in a booth, though. we can guesstimate and speculate.
The driver that might have paid the biggest price, though, we'll get a good look at it here, I think.
His brother's giving him a good look. His brother, right there on the outside, Austin Taylor, is taking a look at the damage on the right side of Justin Taylor's machine, and I'm sure radioing them. Oh, no, he might be helping him try to get some of that sheet metal off. Some brotherly love right there and purposeful contact to help each other out.
Right. A little note here from Justin Mincy. 40-plus years ago, May 12, 1984, Steve Clemens won both of the Sportsman features that night. Tonight, Sterling won the first. Can he win the second?
right there, the 03 right in front of the 12, your winner, but starting in position number 8 after the invert, and they drew the pill.
And already up to 4th.
Already up to 4th. He's got a shot, folks, but he's going to have to get around those Robertsons, which, boy, has it been tough to get around the Robertson family here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Those cars are some of the best handling sportsman cars in the field right now. But how about this? Look who's up front, folks. Gotta love it. The number 38 car, the good guy, a 6-time winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. Mitch Gales in the auto supply of Thomasville car. That's where Justin Mincy lives, in Thomasville. He's a little tip of the cap to the Thomasville veteran right there. Toes in on an open trailer. Always works hard, he and that hard-working crew of that black and yellow number 38. One lap on the board as we restart here for the second Sportsman 20-lapper.
And Ryan Robertson did not give any sort of breathing room to Mitch Gales whatsoever. Robertson getting through that corner well, though. Might have an opportunity to look to the inside of Mitch Gales for the race lead. Going into the north turn. No contact there. Now in the center of the corner, they bounce off of each other. And up to the front of this race goes Ryan Robertson. Oh, no, he broke! He broke! He broke! He made contact with Mitch Gales. Stuffs it in the fence. And the call 811 before you did. Caution comes out once again.
Dramatic moments here that were unexpected. Little bit of contact, but produced a lot of sparks.
Flat tire at least. I'm not sure what more.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if he broke or if the flat. It's going to be tough to tell there, you know, especially with that shot. He didn't come around so we could get that really good look at it. But, drama unfolding here as Mitch Gales loses the lead. And just what we said before, Chase Robertson to the front of the field, but don't look now, started 8th by way of the invert. Last race's winner earlier tonight, Sterling Plemons, moves up to the 2 spot, the rock star in the 03 machine. Can he do the double like daddy?
Also, credit there is you see, I think the 12 and the 51 playing the whole can you check my damage game, but that could have been a lot worse. Here's a look at the damage from Ryan Robertson's machine, and that car just did not turn. You can see the sparks coming out of the rear on corner entry into his great credit.
Right front.
Great credit. Got on the brakes, I think, immediately, and that could have been much, much worse.
I think he felt it. I think he felt that tire go down right there and did a great job. That's a veteran right there.
Right.
You know, the Robertson family, you know, Chase, of course, gets a lot of the attention because he's the young superstar. But Ryan's one hell of a driver himself. Their dad, Mike, just a dominant racer here at Bowman Gray Stadium that I got to see a lot in my early days of coming here to Bowman Gray from the grandstands. Oh, look who's up to 3rd, by the way.
Right, yeah.
Whoa.
Billy Gregg.
Billy Gregg might be up to 3rd, it looks like, in the 28 machine. You know, some different faces up front. You've got the 38 of Mitch Gales up there as well.
Race control trying to sort out the running order here a little bit. I saw some of the folks down on the front stretch trying to move some cars up and ahead. So
let me call out something here. Chris Carter, one of our announcers here, is a great guy. We're going to have a Sweet 16 fun and fighting fundraiser that's going to be awesome here on June 29th, 2 to 5 p.m. at the VFW in Kernersville for Emma and Autumn, who've been struggling a little bit with health, and the whole Bowman Gray community is going to rally together, bring cars, bouncy houses, $10 barbecue plates, race cars, silent auction. It's going to be a lot of fun. So race fans, if you're in the area, come out and show your love to some people that need it. And we'll come together as a community here at Bowman Gray Stadium, as we always do.
Lights are off the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Chase Robertson now in control of this field. Only 2 laps up on the board, amazingly enough, as we get back to it. Robertson goes, Plemons goes, Gales goes. The 12 does not. Zach Orr tried to find some space to get around him. Meanwhile, a few sparks coming off the rear of Gregg's machine as Plemons sets chase to Robertson.
Pretty calm up front right now. Further back in the field, Tommy Neal is trying to get around some people for sure and muscling his way by a few cars, including the 51 of Austin Taylor, stacking up all over this racetrack. Now underneath A.J. Bernies, he goes on his march back from the back of the pack, trying to get to the front of the field.
Big-time fight here for all sorts of positions. I see Zach Orr trying to work to the outside of Taylor.
Greg got third.
Greg was able to get around Mitch Gales for the third spot.
Single file, though, up front for Chase Robertson. Little split screen action so you don't miss anything. Here comes Tommy Neal diving to the inside of the Mark Buddy's car. Give him the spot in the north turn. Here comes the Zero Hero charging in there really hard to fill the hole.
Can't separate Tommy Neal and Kirk Sheets at all tonight.
You got to keep them separated.
I don't know if we've ever done a riff in one of these broadcasts, but here we are. So,
Marjorie's going to love that one.
I know. So, we all played Rock Band once upon a time. In the meantime, the Rock Star still trying to run down Chase Robertson for the race lead. A good look here further back, though, at all the madness happening. And now, Donkey Strong has pulled it into the infield. That car's been running slowly for the last few laps, and I think we will stay green because Donkey Strong has pulled it off to a relatively safe spot in the infield. We're halfway through this Sportsman feature.
Well, further back in the field, Ryan Robertson on the march. Here comes Robertson right now underneath the Zero Hero. You give him the spot. Now he's slowed. He's slowed on the track. Trouble for Ryan Robertson. He's going to go to the field house. Oh, boy. It gets worse.
So the damage was greater than we anticipated for Ryan Robertson off of that contact that put him in the wall in the south turn to start. Meanwhile, that Zach Orr, who's moved up to the fourth spot, was able to clear Mitch Gales, Connor Branch, potentially trying to follow in Orr's footsteps. And all of this happening about a straightaway behind that battle between Clemens and Robertson for the race lead.
And Branch now working to the bottom of the number 38 car. Move him into the fourth position right now, Connor Branch. Fifth position for Connor Branch. Wrong on the scoreboard. Sorry about that.
Tommy Neal looking for the sixth spot underneath the good guy, Mitch Gales. Gets the spot out of the corner, makes the pass, gets the job done. So now we've got a little bit of separation between your top five, top six here.
Don't pay no mind.
And really not too much to say outside of Kyler Kepley and I believe one of the Cates brothers.
Well, the number 31 car has been dominant all year, and he's got 5 laps to get it done here to get win number 4 on the season.
Time, space, and not really a lot of lap traffic, I think, is the best thing that you can see out of your windshield if you are Chase Robertson. Robertson now with, call it maybe 2 car lengths to Sterling Clemens. T. Dawson will come into play before we get the checkers. Beyond that, I'm not sure if they're going to get to A.J. Bernish.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to catch him here. The Rockstar, a little bit different corner entry. You know, that car is sticking to the bottom a little better than it did the first race, believe it or not. And that's the race he won. But now he gobbles up some track position there in the north turn. Can Clemens catch him?
It'll take a monumental effort for Sterling Clemens to run down Chase Robertson. The lap traffic won't come into play. Chase Robertson clear through to the north turning, clear to go back to victory lane. Chase Robertson wins the second feature of the evening for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series, and he picks up another checkered flag at the Madhouse in 2025.
Win number 16 for the young race car driver, your points leader in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division, his 4th checkered flag of 2025 for the great Robertson family as that greatness continues to march forward here at the Madhouse.
Believe he is the winningest driver this season so far across all divisions.
Yes, 100%.
So no one's had a better season than Chase Robertson now, especially when you factor in what happened to Brandon Lee Brindle in that Stadium Stock race. He was the only other person whose average finish was anywhere in the ballpark of this black and orange East Coast Wings and Grill. Jerry Hunt, Super Center Machine out of Walburg, North Carolina. 16th win, as you mentioned, Matthew Dillner. 22nd win for the Robertson brothers, and that ties the Stimson brothers on the all-time brothers wins list at Bowman Gray.
I love this. We've got a family wins list. He's got a brothers wins list. Justin?
What? Yeah.
Do you
What?
have any? Is there something you don't have, brother?
What is the most obscure win list that Justin Mincy
Okay,
has?
I want to know if who has the worst mustache that is won tonight. Oh wait, Chase Robertson's victory lane. Sorry, Chase, I'm picking on you. Love you, brother. But hey, somewhere in Michigan right now, Mike Herman Jr., the great spotter, is smiling because he is a supporter of this team. So many supporters. Sammy Sliders on board as well. Chris Carter is down in victory lane with a very young, talented race car driver, Chase Robertson, the winner.
Randy at Twin City Synthetics with Amsoil. Dylan Ward down here with this Dylan Ward race car. He is the main guy. Having a few words with Chase Robertson. Here he comes. Y'all make some noise! Chase. It's our first time together at Victory Lane at Bowman Gray Stadium, and I love it. Congratulations, man. For a little bit, you had a little bit of a mirror full of that Sterling Plymouth.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a good race. I just hate that my brother had a tire go flat. He definitely would have won that race. But I'll take him any way you can get him. I just want to thank Dylan Ward, all my guys, my parents, just all my sponsors who make this possible. I just want to thank East Coast Wings and Grill, Jerry Hunt Super Center, Thermacell Spray and Solution, Avis Cupcakes, Mike Herman Racing, Sammy Sliders, Amsoil, Davidson Steel, David Kinley Services. Just it takes a village, and I would not be racing without these guys.
You are the points leader, man, and you've had several wins so far this year. How do you feel about the rest of the year, my friend?
If we can just keep doing this and just win races and take what we can get, not drive dirty, just do what I can control, I think we'll be fine.
One more time, let him hear you, Chase Robertson.
Chase Robertson, the winner, will be back with the Mod Squad, the second Twin 25 for the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division.
Leading the way in the modified division, John Holliman fourth. Leading over second place, Burt Myers. Over in the sportsman division, Zach Orr leads second place, Chase Robertson. Over in the street stock division, Brad Lewis leads Jordan Atkinson. And in the stadium stock division, A.J. Sanders has that big lead over second place, Chuck Waller. Remember, you can vote every Saturday night. Just purchase your souvenir program. You can deposit your ballots in any of the ballot boxes and all of the ticket gates. Remember, you must deposit your ballot on the night this edition of the souvenir program is sold. No copies or facsimiles accepted. We appreciate St. Blood Auto Glass for their sponsorship of the most popular driver awards for 2025. It's time now for the second 25-lap event for Brad's Golf Car Modified. Here's how they roll up. Starting 23rd, car number 3 is Brandon Wood. Starting 22nd in the Citrus State Ford for Winston-Salem, number 11 of Justin Cummings. Rolling off 21st in the Greg Butcher Trucking Chevrolet is the number 35 of Shannon McGlamory. Starting 20th in Brad's Golf Car Chevrolet from Jonesville to 77 of Susan Harwell.
We are back live on Flow Racing. Let's get you set for the second Twin 25 for the NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, the most powerful division here at Bowman Gray Stadium, the famed quarter mile. Starting on the pole, trying to recover after a few bad races, the QRC number 10, it's Mike Spini. To the outside in the Koger Plumbing, number 44, it's Daniel Beeson.
Starting in third, the number 51 car out of Mount Olive, North Carolina, racing for Brown Trout Septic. It's the Snowman, Junior Snow, starting in fourth at Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the Osler Mobile Home Sales, number 6, Slate Myers.
Starting in the fifth position, the driver that lives in Tennessee, the number 69 Black Sand Company machine, it's John Holloman the fourth. Starting to the outside as I got handed a bucket of little donuts here. I'll try to do my best to announce this, but hey, this is a hot, young, modified racer. In the garage doors of the Triad, number 07, it's the real deal, Riley Neal.
Starting in the seventh position, the number 4 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, racing for Auto Store of North Carolina, the working man, Jason Myers, and starting in 8th in the 104.1 machine racing for Q104.1 and KP Speed Motorsports out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Crazy Kevin Powell, Brendan Ward.
Starting 9th and looking for his chance at 102 on the all-time wins list is the driver of the Hayes Jewelers, number 83. It's the Rocket, Tim Brown, to the outside in the white and blue. Number 75, the Brad's Golf Cars machine for Lee Jeffries.
Starting at 11th, the showstopper out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, and the number 16 Taylor Auto Parts machine. It's Chris Fleming, and starting in 12th, chasing history in an outright all-time wins record here at the Madhouse. And the number 1 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, racing for Citrus Aid Cleaners. It's the Ace Burt Myers.
I could use an iced coffee from the sponsor of this driver's car, Big B Coffee, to wash down these donuts. The number 64, it's Ethan Truel. On the outside of him in the 14th spot in the number 5 Muddy Creek Motorsports ride, it's the veteran Randy Butner.
Starting in 15th, the number 9 out of King, North Carolina, racing for PB Clark's Family Restaurant, it's Kyle Southern. And starting 16th in the number 39 machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Cross Ties Restaurant and Catering, Gerald Robinson.
The next row, 17th starting spot for the black and pink number 8. It's Darren Redmond to the outside, the William Smith trucking machine. The number 99, the record books call him William Smith. We call him Crab.
Starting in 19th, the double zero out of Monroe, North Carolina, racing for Stella's Towing. It's the Flying Taco, Danny Probst. Starting in 20th in the number 77 machine, racing out of Jonesville, North Carolina, Wahlberg Grill and Pizzeria. It's the lovely Susan Harwell.
Is this true? Who's starting in the next spot? Oh my gosh, a return to the stadium at the number 35 for Shannon McGlamory. And to the outside in the number 11, he made his debut here in this Myers car tonight. It's Kid Dynamite, Justin Cummins.
The final car in this field, our graphic says Brendan Ward. The name actually is Brendan Wood in the 3 to round out this 23-car field for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, our second race of their Twin 25s this evening. Lights are already off for the modern Chevrolet pace car. Mike Speeney with an opportunity to claw back into this points deficit that he now finds himself in, starting up front alongside Daniel Beeston for this second 25-lapper.
Well, here we go. I never thought I'd be able to say Shannon McGlamory. That's pretty cool. But you know what's even cooler? The drivers that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. Green flag is out.
Off they go. Junior Snow working to the inside, trying to find a spot under Daniel Beeson, and he should get the spot here pretty quickly. Junior Snow making his way up into the second spot. Might bring John Holloman with him as there's trouble further back.
Trouble further back in the field. Gerald Robertson has spun. Everybody checking up, including the 3 car, including the Myers car of Justin Cummins. The yellow flag is out around the famed quarter mile. And the little, hey, after like 4 weeks without Little Donuts, are we back? I thought I was just going to be an S&P lemonade guy as I sip my Slate Blue.
Are we?
There's Slate Myers' car right there. The 2 hot, young, modified racers. And Slate, I'm trying right now. I'm drinking your Slate Blue S&P lemonade. By God, this thing is good, buddy.
I'll take I think this is pink lemonade that we got earlier from them. I'm not sure.
The Cheerwine flavor is really good,
too. Or the Cheerwine? I don't know what. Justin Mincy?
Cherry.
Okay.
But the Little Donuts tonight, what do we got here? Is it the maple?
Maple tonight. My favorite of the bunch.
Oh, Canada.
He is vibrato.
Our home and native land. True patriot. No, sorry.
Sounds like you should be doing this at the Stanley Cup Final.
Everybody does. The Edmonton Oilers fans, they sing. The whole entire stadium sings. The guy that sings the anthem only has to sing the beginning. That's a pretty good gig. There's Junior Snow's Wagner Appliances Brown Trout Septic. That's one of the best sponsors I've ever heard. Here's
a good look at Junior Snowman, originally from Mount Olive, North Carolina, races for Wagner Appliances, Brown Trout Septic, Triad Chimney Sweep. He's a bricklayer, chimney sweeper. He's got 2 wins at the stadium. He's a fisherman in his free time and has a big-time baseball background. Originally was a pitcher in high school, injured the arm, so he switched to the infield, played shortstop and third base at Campbell University. Go Camels.
Yeah.
300 average hitter.
Yes,
and
that's a big stat.
Wore his number 51 when he played. So,
and he works hard. You see him working hard. Him and his father on this modified. Great news today. His father in remission from a little cancer scare. This is a family that, they come to the racetrack. They're sometimes the first people here. Most of the time, they're the last trailer to leave here. They have some of the best food in there. They had mud pie. They were trying to get me to have some Mississippi mud pie or something. I'm like, no, man, my pregnant girl's figure doesn't need this. But, they are a close-knit family. His uncle works on the car as well. And, he's another example of a guy that raced in the stadium stocks here and now is up into the modified division, making a name for himself here at the famed quarter mile.
Talked to him earlier today. Said that they tweaked the setup. Mm-hmm. They come here with a different sort of setup every week, but that they love their race pace. They didn't necessarily love the qualifying trim, but they knew that if they got track position, this car would race well. So for as much confidence as Junior had coming into tonight, this is the opportunity. I made the point when I talked to him. I said, so if you draw well into the second race and get a good flip off the invert, then you have a shot at this thing. And he said, absolutely we do.
Well, will he have a shot? At the back I-beam bumper of Mike Speeney as 2 laps are on the board. We come back to green flag. Speeney leading him off of turn number 4, leading the Snowman. 3rd place for John Holloman, but now a little tap for the back bumper from the Snowman, but Speeney hangs on.
Speeney hangs on. I wonder if that came because John Holloman is behind, and you know that John Holloman won't be afraid to use the Nerf bar if he gets the opportunity. So is that out of necessity if you're Junior Snow, or is that just maybe being preemptive here? Looks like Randy Butner, I think, is going to pull, or no, that might be Brandon Butner, I think, that might be pulling the car back.
Now up top, the car that has the Knight-sponsored QRC on the side of that number 10 is in the lead. Snowman, Junior Snow in second. Holloman applying the pressure to Snow now for the second position. That's the big battle on the track. Daniel Beeson follows in their tracks in 4th position. Now 5th position, Slate Myers leading Riley Neal and Jason Myers.
Holloman really starting to apply the pressure to Junior Snow now. The 2 pinkest cars in this field going after it here at Bowman Gray. Big shot there in the south turn. All that's doing is allowing Mike Speedy to get away. His lead now up in, call it the 3-4 car length neighborhood.
Are you going to get your mom mad at you again? Instead of saying the most pink, instead of pinkest? You said pinkest? She was criticizing you before. Marjorie, go easy on my boy here. The fish here is doing a good job. Here we go. We're just kidding, Marjorie. We love you. But the battle is on right now, and it looks like Holloman's number 69 is indeed faster. He moves up out of the way in the south turn. Side by side, Nerf bar to Nerf bar. The drag race down into the north turn. Give the spot to Holloman, and here comes Beeson.
Credit to Daniel Beeson, who tucked up right behind and made it easy. And now there goes Junior Snow trying to repay the favor. He gets underneath Holloman once again, but he's going to let Holloman gather it back up. And is there going to be more contact there in the north turn? Yep. And Holloman just brake checked him. He knew it was coming and actually held on to the car pretty well.
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. 600 horsepower, ground pounders, jet fighters in a gymnasium full of contact here at Bowman Gray.
So now 15 laps for John Holloman to try and make sure that he can, I guess, tug on Mike Speeney's cape. And maybe Superman might play the role reversal, but they're stacking up behind as Daniel Beeson is holding up Riley Neal.
Riley Neal, the white number 07 behind the 44 of Beeson. He moves him out of the way, coming out of turn number 4. Slate Myers now to the bottom of his as well. The 2 youngsters, followed by the Go-Go Plum number 44. Here comes Jason Myers. Brandon Ward as well, trying to put the 44 in their rear view.
44 just trapped there on the high line. Absolutely nothing Daniel Beeson can do. Meanwhile, John Holloman maybe reeling in Speedy just a hair, but not by much.
Contact throughout the field right now, halfway right now as you look at the Slate Myers machine, followed by Uncle Jason, who is his crew chief when he races on the Smart Modified Tour when the Bowman Gray season isn't active in touring modifieds.
This could get interesting at the front. Lap traffic in front of Mike Speedy, and they're both a little bit racy. R. Crabbe-Smith and the 8 machine to Darren Redmond. Speedy's going to have to work to the outside to clear both of them, but now they get down to the bottom, and now it's just a matter of where the leaders catch this lap traffic. Holloman sort of stuck on that high line, didn't get the greatest of runs, but Redmond pulls off.
Holloman needs a caution. Holloman's car right now, looking at it, is faster than Mike Speeney's car possibly, unless Spini is kind of just pacing himself right now because he has such a mighty lead in this field, 17 laps on the board of this 25-lapper. So the caution is what Holloman needs to have a chance, I think.
Potentially. Yeah, gap has stayed pretty much identical. About half a straightaway here for about half of this race, I would say. It's Junior Snow trying to work his way around Crabsman now a little bit further back, and now Riley Neal starting to reel in the Snowman.
He is reeling him in. Burt Myers fans, the winner of the first race, is marred back in the 11th position currently. We are looking at the big battle on the field, though. That is for the third position. The Snowman with Riley Neal all over his back bumper. I-beam, Nerf bar. Oh, chrome horn action, 5 to go.
5 laps to go. 1 lap car in front of Mike Spini. Might be the last one he catches if this goes green rest of the way. Works his way around Gerald Robinson, so he's clear. So now eyes further back on battles elsewhere. That's Chris Fleming, who just put Crab Smith a lap down a little bit further back from the 11th spot. And Junior Snow still has third ahead of Riley Neal.
That is the battle everybody's looking at right now. And Mike Spini, his knees are got to be knocking. He looks at the lap traffic ahead. And will it be a factor? But now the battle is on for third position. That's what everybody's looking at. Riley Neal taking shots to the back bumper of the 51. He does so in the north turn. He's underneath him down the front straightaway with 2 to go. Riley Neal underneath the 51.
Riley Neal fighting for a podium position here as Mike Spini takes the white flag. There is some lap traffic. It will not factor. Riley Neal takes over the third spot. Slate Myers trying to get to the inside. Junior Snow trying to hang on to it at the front, though. Mike Spini will come to the line and get his first win of 2025. That's a big one for the QRC HVAC and refrigeration car on QRC HVAC and refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 night. Might not be the division, but still, you know Mike Spini's thrilled to win this one when he's got so many partners in the building.
Yeah, there's a suite about 4 down from us, Bud, with all the QRC people right now, and they are celebrating here at Bowman Gray Stadium and celebrating this driver who takes the checkered flag. Last week was a disaster, going from the points lead to third in points. Tonight's first race, a disaster again, but then he recovers by way of the invert and then playing a great race as far as defensiveness, great restart, and great drive. And now that crew is going to celebrate in Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane. Mike Spini with his second career win here at the Madhouse.
How about it? Mike Spini, second career win, third win for the Spini brothers, and he ties L.W. Miller with 2 wins by a driver from the Keystone State, Pennsylvania.
Oh, L.W. Miller. One hell of a modified racer himself. And now Spini pulls into victory lane. His crew is coming running. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam, who will have victory lane with a very happy Mike Spini.
Let's go, Mike! What a great night to pick up a win. Any night at Bowman Gray is a great night to pick up a win. But when you've got your title sponsor here with you, it's extra special. Mike Spini picking up the win in the second 25-lapper for Brad's Golf Car Modifieds. Let him hear it as he gets out of the cockpit. Mike Spini. Mike, let our folks up here at Flow Racing see you up there. I know this is a lot better interview than we had at pre-race. You know what? You said, people told you, hey, you're the winner of the losses of John Barrow. Race to Your Defense Award. You said, hold my beer.
Yeah, no, we had a really good car today. Unfortunate event in the first race, but it kind of lined us up for this, so, you know, I'll take it. I want to thank QRC. It's awesome we got the win on their night, so that's having them here. That is really cool. Having my son Mikey here, also cool. I got to thank QRC, Quality Glass, P3 Precision Paint and Pressure Washing, LRC Lineback Race Cars and Fabrication, Webb Race Cars Fabrication, Buzzy Racing, Ernest, and AMP Motorsports Performance. And I have to say, happy birthday, Dad.
Mike Spini, ladies and gentlemen.
And let's take a quick break. We're going to come back with the Street Stalkers here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and then the Midway Mobile Storage Chain Race.
Picking up his second career modified win over here at Carolina Windflower's Winter Circle. Open your doors to beautiful floors at Carolina Windflowers. Coming up next, 20 laps for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series. They drew for their starting position. Here's how they'll roll on. Starting 23rd on the field, out of Winston-Salem, is the number 16 of Brad Lewis. Starting 22nd from Lexington, the car number 72 of Bryant Robertson. Rolling off 21st from Winston-Salem is the number 28 of Brian Sykes Sr. Starting 20th from Trinity, he's the defending champion of the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series, is the number 1 of Christian Joy. Is Donnie
Oh boy, folks, if you have an ability to make it to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, you need to be here. Amongst the 16,000, 17,000 strong, the faithful at Bowman Gray Stadium around this famed quarter mile, racing around a football field. Next week, the Twin 50s for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, and a little birdie told us, Fans Challenge bonus up to $6,000 next week. Big money on the line. Twin modified 50s, double foul will make you smile. And you know what else will make you smile? A bunch of darn Staleys. The fans love the Staley family, and right there is Braden Staley. You'll have Kyler Staley, who's second in points out there, Zach Staley, and tonight, making history, Tara Stanley. So Tara and Zach, for the husband and wife combo, will be racing tonight. And then Zach's two sons also. So you want to talk about family affair here at Bowman Gray Stadium in the Street Stalkers. You're going to see it tonight.
As always is the case. And that purple and neon scheme seems like the Staleys always have a color of the year or a color combo of the year. This year, purple and neon, but still just as iconic. But I suppose we need to...
Yeah, I think we should give the lineup.
Give a starting lineup, right?
Let's give a starting lineup. Starting on the pole from Clemens, North Carolina, in the Koger Plumbing. Number 30, the racing plumber, it's Zachary Koger. To the outside in the Just Chillin' Lawn Care machine, number 4 from Winston-Salem, it's Emily Lewis.
Starting in third, the number 10 Motorsports on Main machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It is Kendall Craig Hartless. Starting in fourth of the Joey Miller Realty, number 23 out of Kernersville, North Carolina, Jordan Atkins.
Starting fifth tonight, the Studio 17 machine, it's Andy Southern from Lexington. And to the outside in the Creed transmission, number 88, it's Brian Shute.
Starting in seventh out of Clemens, North Carolina, racing for Garage Doors in the Trident, the number 24, Austin Jones. And starting in eighth, the Kenny's Plumbing, number 33 out of Thomasville, North Carolina, DJD.
Starting ninth is your points leader from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the beautiful number 99 Priority One Auto Sales machine. It's Brian Sykes Jr., the country pimp. To the outside, the Lexington driver, the number 7. This is Zach Staley.
Starting in 11th, the number 35 out of Thomasville, North Carolina, racing for EME Industrial Services, Andy Avery. And starting in 12th, in the 82 out of Brown Summit, North Carolina, racing for CCW Insurance, Halvey, Justin Alberson.
The Privacy Fence Solutions number 6 starts next. A rookie making her first start. The number 6, it's Tara Staley. Alongside, second in points for the Bullies Bar and Grill. Number 8, it's Kyler Staley.
Starting in 15th, it's K-Train Kevin Gilbert out of Moxville, North Carolina, and the Ellis Tires and Autos Machine Hayden Hall out of Sloan, North Carolina for Shine Shack. The 05 starts 16th.
17th, Brandon Brown. Willie Newman in the 09 and 18th. Donnie Martin, the Moose. Christian Joyce, another bad draw in 20th. Brian Sykes Sr. in 21st. Bryant Robertson, the big man, 22nd. And Brad Lewis bringing up the rear of the field. The Street Stalkers coming to green here for a 20-lapper. Green flag is out. Koger leads the way.
Emily Lewis did not get a good start. Craig Hartless to the inside. Andy Southern with an opportunity to gain some track position. Austin Jones looking for a run down to the bottom of the racetrack as Lewis is just pinned up there on the high line, and Koger opened the door on the inside. Hartless has the opportunity to take the lead.
They're wrecking in the rear of the field right now. Alverson has spun. Moose Martin as well. The yellow flag will come out. Koger will maintain the lead.
What a break for Zachary Koger.
Oh, man, I mean, you know, here's a guy that works his butt off on these race cars, comes here every morning practice, and you could see it right there. Getting an opportunity to lead a lap here at Bowman Gray Stadium is something special, but he was driving that car so deep into the corner. You know, you got to slow down your car and protect that bottom, because the bottom is Baltic. The bottom is everything. Most valuable real estate here.
The bottom is Baltic?
Isn't Baltic one of the most expensive in Monopoly?
Okay.
Oh, Boardwalk is? According Justin Mincy, of course he knows Boardwalk is. Let's look at the replay here of
just
what
trying
happened.
to figure out where you were going with the reference, but just classic contact in the back, I think, and it looks like Halvey got a little bit of help there. That might have been a chain reaction.
It was,
might have been.
Moose Martin got into him, but really, I mean, Halvey kind of getting upset there and checking up, caused that.
It almost looked like Brian Sykes Sr. might have been the one that started that accordion a little bit further back, but it's classic. Initial restart, not a lot of breathing room. Everybody stacks up. Somebody ends up getting bounced and getting moved, I think, is what that ends up being.
Yeah.
So,
how many? So we have 4 Staleys in this field. So Zach Staley in the number 7. 3 in the field, we're told right now. Maybe did Tara not make the start? Did she not make the green? Braden made the field, but Tara did not. Tara was listed as being out there, and we don't see her car. So not making history tonight, unfortunately. There is Braden Staley's number 9 machine, 09 machine. They are giving the lead to Kendall Craig Hartless. So apparently they didn't go back a lap as they customarily do. So the 30 will now sit in second position.
So Zach Kogar with the opportunity to have a good run and lead the field right around. Of note here, it's Koger Plumbing that is the partner on the tire barrier over by the entrance to the pits here at Bowman Gray. So,
yeah, hopefully nobody hits that.
Right.
Well, right now, Kendall Craig Hartless is in the lead. The Racing Plumber in second position. Don't look now. 5-time winner last year sits in the third position with Austin Taylor to his rear. Green flag is out here at Bowman Gray Stadium. 20-lapper, 2 laps on the board. Koger is going to have his hands full right here with Andy Southern as he looks to the bottom of the north turn.
Koger's car just did not drive on corner exit at all in the south turn. Andy Southern and Austin Jones had 2 hot rods that do get out of the corner well. So Southern going to make quick work of that battle for second. Jones will try and get away with third, and they will give chase to Kendall Craig Hartless. Meanwhile, the country pimp, look at Brian Sykes Jr. now trying to work to the inside of Zach Koger, and K-Train Kevin Gilbert trying to follow suit.
You know, a lot of people will say, look at Koger, he's fallen back through the field, but this is great experience for him to try to race up front and be around some of these other cars, and he's doing it the hard way on the outside, losing ground pretty quick now. Emily Lewis to the bottom, and we have trouble with Hayden Hall and Bryant Robertson in the south turn, and trouble for those 2 cars, and Robertson looks like he might have a right front down.
Sparks coming out of Robertson's machine that shall go back to the work area. Hayden Hall will find his place rather at the back of the field, and Willie Newman in the 09 machine. How
So
about
that's who's in the
this?
09.
How about this? Making his first street stock start since 1991. Way in the back there. But a 27-time winner in 3 different divisions at Bowman Gray Stadium.
So that would be the 09 out there. So it's not Braden Staley in that car. That is Newman. So Tara did start the race. So let's clarify that. Tara Staley starting her first ever race. She has pulled off after a lap or 2, not getting much seat time in that Staley racing machine. What's interesting about the Staleys, too, you know, they're purple and yellow cars, but Staley has a street legal version. So they have 4 race cars, and the 5th is the same car as that, basically. Actually, a little bit nicer, Zach tells me. And it's street legal. So he posts videos all over his Facebook and Instagram of him driving around a late model, a street stock, around the neighborhoods.
There are so many people that I think would love to do that.
God, me. I want to do it. I want to borrow it from him. Be like, hey, man, can I borrow it for a week? That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? My neighbors would hate me.
Do you trust yourself behind the wheel of a race car?
Yes, dude. I've raced a bunch.
Fair.
Like, I love racing.
I'd be so nervous.
If I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't be up here in the booth. Well, I would. I'd split my time. If I won the lottery, I'm racing half the season and announcing.
I wouldn't want to break his car. So.
Oh yeah. Zach's a guy you won't mess with, but he's a nice guy.
I'd be because I got enough respect for Zach. I don't want to bust any of his equipment up.
You just fix it.
Back to green flag racing.
Greg Hartless off, making moves. Country Pimp trying to work over Austin Jones for 3rd.
I'll tell you what, you're going to have to watch that battle for the lead, but you're going to have to watch the battle for 3rd right now as the Country Pimp gets into the backside of Austin Jones and moves him up the track, but Jones hangs on to it.
Okay, let's clarify. The Country Pimp just tried to lick the stamp and send an international ship Austin Jones there on quarter entry. That was as big a shove as I've seen in that corner all night long.
Austin Jones trying to hang tough on the outside, but no match for Brian Sykes Jr., who will take over the spot. Look at K-Train, though, trying to make it a battle for 4th.
Captain Bridesmaid coming up through the field. The K-Train is coming from the caboose. Here he comes, moving into the 4th position underneath Austin Jones right now. That gray number 13 car moving up through the field. What a great season he has had thus far. But right now, the cars in front of him. Kendall Craig Hartless leading this over Andy Southern. And your points leader, Brian Sykes Jr. We have a spin. Shoop goes around in a plume of smoke.
Shoop-de-loop over in the south turn. I don't think that's the first time we've done that.
No, I think I might have done that before. I
think you before.
I think, yeah.
Right?
So shoop-de-loop, shoop-de-loop, shoop-de-loop. God. You know the greatest feature, I always say this, the greatest feature that Flow Racing has for the Bowman Gray Stadium broadcast is on your remote control. It's the mute button.
Well,
for moments like this. Sorry, folks. We apologize. But, hey, guess what? If you can't be here in the grandstands and you're joining us, if you can't be watching from your living room on Flow Racing and having a good time, if you can't be up here in a booth at a beautiful venue like this and having fun, you're doing it wrong.
We tend to agree here. And if you haven't had the chance to come out to beautiful Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, make the visit. Take the time. Do it once if you're wondering. Just if for no other reason, so you can say you've had the experience of going to the greatest track in all of NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series racing. Get out here. Make it happen.
I started coming here, I moved here in 98, 99, somewhere like that. I started coming, I think 2000 was my first time coming here, and I used to do 30-something cup races a year. Instead of doing 36, I would take off at least 3 a year. And the reason I took them off, it's such a dork. It would be so I could go sit in Section 9 on the bottom. That's right about where Kendall Craig Hartless is right there. You know, coming out of turn number 2. And just what an incredible venue this is. Fell in love with it the first time I ever came here. And it's one of my favorite places on God's green earth.
Lights off on the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. Kendall Craig Hartless leads us back to green. Going to come to halfway, I believe, next time by. Good jump there for Hartless. Good jump, really, for everybody in the top 5. Not really in a media battle just yet, but we'll see some soon. Don't worry. They'll come.
Yeah, Andy Southern is no slouch. And right now, though, he has a rear view mirror as we come to halfway in this street stock affair with Brian Sykes Jr. in that black and fluorescent yellowy green number 99.
Eyes up on that battle a little bit further back. Oh, trouble. Oh, that is Kyler Staley, I think, that's gone around to bring out the yellow. Just got a nudge from Christian Joyce. And
second place in points. And if it's from Christian Joyce, oh, that might be stirring the pot right there.
There was help on this. There was definitely some help on this. Keeping an eye here on whether or not Kyler Staley is going to make a point known, and it looks like he is.
He's not happy with Christian Joyce, the Hot Rod Barn hero in the number 1, and Kyler Staley, who has to be careful. He is in second place in points. He does not want to damage that number 8 machine, but he is sending a message to the High Point, North Carolina driver. And then the number 9 almost swipes him. A little bit of team action going on here.
I think that might have been a warning to Staley from track officials, but the point has been made. Which
there's been history there, too.
Right.
Last year, Zach Staley, the father, and that number 1 were having troubles throughout the year. They had some issues.
So,
here we go. Under caution right now. 11 laps into this street stock race right now. Yellow flag is out here at the stadium. Your leader right now, Kendall Craig Hartless, the number 17 in second position of Andy Southern. The number 99 of Brian Sykes Jr. in third. In fourth position, we have the K-Train, Kevin Gilbert in the gray, number 13. In the fifth position, the number 24 machine of Austin Jones. Sixth position right now, the number 4 of Emily Lewis, Zach Staley, and then Koger, and then the 33 of DJ Dean. We had a little alarm going off there. That threw us off a little bit.
A little bit. I also saw a lot of fans cheering on Zach Staley, and there are still fans that are up on their feet cheering on Zach Staley as he paces around this track under yellow. Staley currently in the 7th spot here on the racetrack. So here we go. It's going to be another restart on lap 11. Modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle pulls off. Kendall Craig Hartless leads this field once again. Then Southern, then Sykes. Good jump for all three. Where did the battle start? Maybe for fourth? No. K-Train with a good jump. Here comes Brian Sykes now all over the rear bumper of Andy Southern. Checked up everybody in the top 5. Car spinning. A little bit further back, Brian Robertson's gotten into Justin Halverson. Halverson stopped. The double zero is stopped. The call 811 before you did caution is out once again. And I believe that there is trouble a little bit further back. Brandon Brown, I think, slow on the backstretch.
He lost a lot of debris here on the front straightaway. That's what initially brought out the caution. And as the caution was about to become unfurled, what happened was this melee that we see here in the south turn between Halvey and the Moose.
So, incident over in the south turn towards the back of the field. That stacks up everybody, and I see bumpers here. Here's a good look at the replay here. There's Brown stuck on the inside, and then Halverson, whether or not he cut down there on Robertson or just didn't realize he was there, or I couldn't tell how that started, but Halverson going around is how that ended.
Now Halverson going the wrong way around the racetrack. He's got to get that 82 righted and pointed the right direction.
12 laps here on the board at the Madhouse. Kendall Craig Hartless still in control of this race, and they are sorting through everybody here. So
let's take a quick break on Flow Racing. We'll be back with the final 8 laps of the Street Stock Affair.
Welcome back to coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from historic Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Live on Flow Racing. I'm James Pike. He's Matthew Dillner. We are currently running a street stock feature towards the end of the program here this evening, but lots of fun to be had here in this race for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series on QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 and Chain Race Night. The 1,118th.
What type of mouthful was that? I thought I had a mouthful with these little donuts, and that was the mouthful of the night.
You have food, I have words. Therein lies the difference. So, as we continue, how about it?
There is the damage on Kyler Staley's car as we get set to go back to green. The modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle pulls into the infield grass. Green flag is out. Kendall Craig heartless, trying to hide with that camo at the top of this field. Trouble in the back. Halvey part 2. Brown, Robertson, yellow flag is out.
They're going to have to slow down to make sure they make it through here. That was close for a lot of our leaders, but I am going to assume that given that it's those two that are connected, and here comes Halverson out of the car. Here we go. Words maybe. And everybody in the stands on that side of the racetrack rising to their feet to see how this unfolds.
The big man, Bryant Robertson, climbing from his car over the nose. They're pointing fingers. Helmets on. Robertson not happy. Halvey out of his car. Officials are separating them in the north turn. Robertson has his helmet off now. Not too happy with Halverson pointing. Emotions exploding here at the Madhouse. Robertson thinks better, goes to the right side of his car. It looks like we might be over. Still more arguing.
And remember that it was Halverson that got into it with Zach Staley on the opening night of the season, too.
He has been a magnet at the beginning of the year, had a little bit of a suspension, a vacation, but then came back, has been running steady. But now Robertson not happy right now with the driver of that 82, the veteran, telling him he needs to use his eyes. You see him pointing there.
So the confrontation, I think, largely over, I believe.
Marjorie says words are better than donuts. Well, Marjorie, I'll agree when it's words between race car drivers.
Fair.
Because that's way better than donuts. But let me tell you something. Donuts are better than our words. I love you, brother, but you and I, heck, donuts are way better than us.
We don't compare to the maple little donuts that we've received.
God.
They're just better than us.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
I think we might be able to take a quick break here on Flow Racing, pay some bills. I like paying bills. Eat a donut, drink some S&P lemonade. You know, we might be able to, or we should just watch. Let's see if these cars get together here. Here comes Robertson. Both guys are back in their cars. You never know.
The fans made their opinion known of at least Halverson.
Well, they're going back to the pits. I know that. They have their window nets down.
I saw a few gestures made toward Halverson's car from some of the fans here beneath us in the front stretch. So,
well, hey, let's take a quick 30 here. We'll be back live on Flow Racing.
Welcome back to coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series at Bowman Gray Stadium. 13 laps into our feature for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series. Lights off on the modern Chevrolet pace car. We are ready to go back. Green Flag Racing, Kendall Craig, Heartless, Andy Southern, Brian Sykes Jr., K-Train, Kevin Gilbert, Austin Jones, your top five as we go back to Green Flag Racing. Sykes trying to find an opportunity to go underneath Andy Southern. Sykes has been the hard charger in this race. They all stack up behind him. Here comes Austin Jones to the inside of K-Train for fourth.
Battles all around right now. Now to the back bumper of Southern, and now to the back bumper of the leader comes Southern. Southern down to the bottom. Not any room down there. He thinks wisely and backs out. Now goes to mount the charge again. Heartless, your leader.
Heartless got a break there, and I think, and big trouble actually over in the exit of the south turn, and that will bring out another call, 811, before you did caution. I see Zach Koger, I see Christian Joyce, I see Jordan Atkins, all involved in that amongst others.
Emily Lewis also has spun afterwards in the north turn. Cars are everywhere, scattered about here at the stadium. Well, it's the street stockers. You just never know what you're going to get. You could get 20 laps of clean and green racing. You could get some incredible clean racing. Sometimes you get some mayhem, and then sometimes it's just not your clover night. That's a 3-leaf clover, not a 4-leaf clover. If it was, maybe she wouldn't have the damage. But that is one of her big supporters, a secret sponsor, we're told. Secret sponsor, the clover.
I make a point here. Another set of words from Marjorie.
Oh, Marjorie, by the way, for those tuning in, Marjorie is James Pike's lovely mother who texted us feverishly throughout the broadcast, even sending videos at points. She's incredible.
Ask a fair question.
I wish my mom did that.
Ask a fair question here. Is there going to be a rumble?
I mean, what happens behind the field house typically stays behind the field house unless Corey Latham captures it.
Yeah. And here's an opportunity to give a shout out to Corey and to Eric Messer at Messer Media, whose visuals capture so much of what happens at this place week on week, year on year. You want somebody that can tell just about every story that's ever been told about this place. Find one of those two, and you're going to be in good shape. So, looking to see Corey. I see Corey over in his white hat over by his spot over in the north turn, and I see Eric in the south turn.
Yeah, Eric stands with the officials, and you see Jordan Atkins getting pushed off, and you see Corey now in that photo right there. He's got a broom. I think Corey's going to be a track worker. There's Eric Messer, the great Eric Messer. He's texting me probably. Stop texting me, buddy. But Eric Messer, a very dedicated person to Bowman Gray Stadium, not just a photographer. He's ingrained himself as part of this community. He's kind of started out, as a college kid, helping John Boy Brown, the modified racer here, and doing some photos with him. And I remember one time he was like, "Hey, I'd love to help you out." And we did some video together for the banquet video for Bowman Gray Stadium. And look how far he's come. Young man with a lot of talent, but better person, better human.
Fabulous human, fabulous videographer, video editor as well. Also takes incredible photos on iRacing. Got a little bit of work in there.
iRacing photographer? Is there such a thing?
There is such a thing. You can get...
It's like screen captures.
Yes, but to make them look good and to edit them well, there's enough robustness in the program.
Robustness?
Yes, to where you actually can...
Like Robusto, she played? Isabella?
I think she's got an account, is running the sim a little bit. But
well, hey, let's get back to action here.
I digress. Green flag coming lap 15. Kendall Craig, Heartless in control of this once again. Andy Southern with a run, trying, got an actually really good restart, maybe a little bit of breathing room from Brian Sykes Jr. 5 laps to go here, and Kendall Craig Heartless just trying to hang on.
Can Kendall Craig Heartless hang on and get his first ever victory? It's in his sights, but now that sight is out the right side window as he's sliding around this racetrack. He wants it, and he wants it bad. Southern knows it. He's trying to do it the clean way behind him in that 17.
Heartless's car is not getting off the corners well, trying to get the rear end to rotate and just get it to hang a little bit. Maybe now that the tires are coming to temp, it might be to his benefit, but there could be a window here either for Andy Southern or for Brian Sykes Jr. They're all right there. Meanwhile, K-Train trying to look to the inside of Austin Jones.
He's sideways coming off of turn number 4. Contact now between Heartless. The slide through the grass. T-bones him. Mayhem. New leader, Brian Sykes Jr.
Caution flag is out. Heartless was trying to save that car on the exit of the north turn. Just could not get the rear end to stop from stepping out. Drove down into Andy Southern. Is Andy Southern going to come back and maybe pay the favor here? Right front of Southern's car is all torn up, and he's going straight over to Heartless's machine.
Andy Southern right now, a little bit of contact. I don't think that was anything egregious. They are pulling next to each other. I know Southern is going to have to go behind the field house to tear off that fender. They are not happy with each other right now. Oh, he's dropping the window net. The 17 has dropped the window net.
Making sure that he can see him.
Well, hey, he knows he's going to have to go behind the pit anyway, but if I were him, I'd try to get out there and do it right now. Right now, he's backing into him. He's backed into him. Demo Derby destruction. The fans are going crazy at the Madhouse. Southern not happy. He'll take his race car back behind the field house for repairs, but not before making his points known. 4th in points. Wow.
Back behind the fence, there's a look at the damage to the front end of Heartless's machine after that contact. And Heartless was just trying to hang on to it for all it was worth. The entire corner and that section of the stadium all up on their feet as that one unfurled in front of us.
Hey, can I do a PSA? I think whoever just climbed the fence should be kicked out of here for the year. Sorry, I'm just going to say it. I love the raucous crowd here, but no place for that.
Not a good idea.
No. Oh, look at the piece of lead. Ooh, gosh. Rare to see a piece of lead like that come out of the race car. Picking it up right now. That's heavy. Oh, look at that. He's holding it like a boombox now. But we've seen it all tonight. Kendall Craig Heartless just laps away from his first career win so much he could taste it. Getting a little excited on the pedal there. Coming out of the turn, trying so hard. And dirt tracking that thing super loose. It was tight, which caused a very snap-loose situation, and you saw it there a few laps.
Yeah, that was about maybe the 3rd or 4th time where Heartless was dirt tracking it on the exit of 4, and I would say relatively miraculously had managed to keep a hold of the lead. Had not opened up the window on Southern. Though, to Southern's credit, I think Southern cut Heartless a few breaks there in the few laps before.
He did. I mean, Southern was driving him so clean there.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I was surprised that Southern took exception to that. Heartless was protecting the bottom there, and Heartless was sideways. He was just trying to protect the bottom. I get it. I get why Andy's mad, but that mad? Maybe not.
Well, if you're Andy, you're thinking that once they made contact down the front stretch that Heartless could have let up and come off, and Heartless sort of stayed on him there.
He only really had a nose in there, so it wasn't like he had a full car in there. So that's a tough one right there. So, but then again, if Southern backs out, to your point, what happens? They're going to both get swallowed up by the 99, who's now sitting pretty in the lead, Brian Sykes Jr.
Right.
Austin Jones in 2nd and 3rd place, one of the most consistent drivers of the street stock division right now, the K-Train. The K-Train, the gray number 13 right in your screen right there, finishes of 3rd, finishes of 2nd, 4th, 6th, 5th, and 4th. That is consistency. And near the top of this division is Kevin Gilbert in 3rd place in points.
Sometimes it's better to just keep your nose out of trouble.
Yes.
And take advantage of opportunities handed to you. And
what is Staley doing there? He's trying to pump up the crowd or something? What is he doing?
Zach Staley making a point, giving us a halftime show. I'm not sure what.
He's always pumping up the crowd on the pace laps.
Oh, no, I think they're trying to send some cars around
spot.
both of them. They're contesting spots.
Well, that was good for Kyler Staley to get that spot. So,
right.
Rebound, his night has been struggling.
And now trying to move, not sure which. They're having to reorganize the cars around Zach Staley. Just not sure which car is next. So, eyes up on it. We will eventually have a one-lap shootout to finish this race when we get to that point.
Oh.
I'm just not sure when we will get to that point.
And a green and white. Not a green-white checker, but we
Green
will
and-
have a
green and
green-white
white.
together, one-lap shootout. And check this out. The number 16, who had the unlucky draw of 23rd tonight, is now all the way up to the 4th position. Big Daddy Brad there, his daughter right behind in that number 4 machine. But the Radical U.S. Unlimited Services 16, talk about perseverance, getting through all the melees and mess, and now he is right behind Kevin Gilbert, K-Train, in that gray 13.
Hard Charger of the award, or Hard Charger award of the night. There we go.
Probably, yeah. I mean, from 23rd to, Kevin Cantor. Kevin Cantor in the stadium stock race had a
at least in the division,
well.
no doubt.
Oh, 100%.
But that's going to go to Brad Lewis. But
I wish I could be Justin Mincy's brain just for a day.
Right. To have all those stats just ready to go.
But just be like, yep, Kevin Cantor. Let's gain the most spots.
A question from Marjorie that I think actually is good to address here on the
Let's get her up in the booth one day.
If you back into a stopped car under yellow, do you get disqualified from the race? No, not necessarily.
No. Anyway.
But here's the thing.
It's Bowman Gray, baby.
Andy Southern had so much damage that, to your point, it didn't really matter because that right front was going to have to get fixed anyway.
Yeah, he was going to have to go. He just wanted to he was just wanting to back into him to say, hey, hi, I'm here.
Right. So now...
Is he back out there?
He's not back out there, but we do have lights off of the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle.
So maybe he was parked for the night.
So
he might have been, because that contact, there was, the Gator was out there too, so you never know. If we don't see him regain the track, I would put 4 little donuts on the fact that he was parked.
How about this, though? Brian Sykes Jr., after all of that, is now a lap away from collecting win number 2 in the 2025 season, but Austin Jones, winner of the 50-lapper a few weeks ago, will have an opportunity to snatch the win away on the last lap. Green flag out. One more set of corners and one more lap. Green and white out together as Brian Sykes Jr. got a good jump to get away from Austin Jones. It's going to take a big sin from Austin Jones if he wants to try and take away this win. Christian Joyce spins in the back, and we will stay green. Checkered flag out. Brian Sykes Jr. goes to victory lane here in the street stocks at Bowman Gray.
Points leader on the point, on the pedal, and now a winner for the second time in the 2025 season.
Getting a report also in that last lap that Zach Staley was the one that spun Christian Joyce.
Staley? Wow. Interesting. Well, Brian Sykes Jr., his father, Brian Sykes, pulling up next to him to congratulate him right now. And the checkered flag will go to the driver that calls himself the Country Pimp. I'd rather call him, it says Sunshine on his car. That might be a better nickname. But the Priority One Auto Sales Machine now taking the ceremonious victory lap here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And his fourth career win here at the stadium.
And 10th win for the Sykes family as well.
He and his father loved biking, not motor, not like bicycles. Oh, a little burnout action. We had little donuts, and now we have backstretch donuts.
Donuts everywhere.
How about that? You get a good look here at the victory lap. Well earned for Brian Sykes Jr., who just played this really, really well in a chaotic and carnage-filled street stock feature. That 10th win for the Sykes family ties the Flock family for 47th place on the all-time wins list here.
And there's Kyler Staley and the crew. I'll tell you what, there's a bunch of runners on that crew. My Lord, they were fast to get to victory lane. Folks, let's toss it down to Randy Pulliam in victory lane.
Exciting crew down here, joined by a lot of family, crew members. Zach Staley, Kyler Staley, Brian's dad, here he comes. Brian Sykes Jr. Brian, let's take a look up here at our folks at Flow Racing. They can see you around the country. Brian, great race. You were the benefactor of some action there in front of you. You just made your time. Great win number 2 on the season.
Yeah, man. First off, I got to give all glory to God. We couldn't do it without him. All these guys I got, Billy Gregg, Nate Gregg, I couldn't do this without them. Cooper and Sonia Lowe, my dad, Brad Smith's been in the hospital all week. We got to thank him and all these great sponsors. Priority One Auto Sales, Premier Metal Buildings, Greg's Old Lexington, Squid Pro Q, L&D Construction, Olympic Family Restaurant, RJ Customs, Sykes Metal Roofing.
Woo! The dream season continues. You came into the night leading the standings. This does nothing but cushion that. Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you, sir.
Let's head over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle to pick up the winner's trophy for Brian Sykes Jr. for the second time this season.
All right, let's take a quick break because when we come back, there is a full field of race cars that are chained together. Folks, oh, here it comes, the chain race at Bowman Gray. Hey, this is Matthew Dillner, joined alongside by James Pike. And I would like to ask you one question, Pike. Are you ready for the chain race?
I'm so ready for the chain race.
Okay, if you and I did a chain race, could I be the driver in the front? And you be the one on with the brakes and steering stuff on the back?
I'm trying to figure out what would be more advantageous for us.
I don't know, but either way, you're going to get whipped around.
Right.
I'm the driver.
Right.
I'm driving that.
Well, I like the front end stability, I think.
Is that a weight joke?
No.
Because I think it's funny if it is.
It's the. I'd rather make sure that I know where the front end of the car is going than the rear.
Well, let's give you the starting lineup of this chain race. You see the number 8 car, RCR Racing. The sponsor on that car, Haley Dean Walden, with Jared Walden in that machine. Who's starting second, buddy?
Starting in second, the 91, it's Bo Hill and Latricia Meadows.
Latricia. You know, Blake Smith and Wyatt Sapp are in the next one. But I'll tell you what, I have to say, I'm so excited for who's starting fourth. Oh, there's the chains. That's some chainage right there.
That is chainage.
I'm so excited that Gina Southern Combs is joined up with perennial winner Corey Wyatt in the number 12 car in fourth, because Gina was a former racer here, last raced in 2006. So really cool to see her racing anything. Jackie Payne Jr. and Ronald Mosier's good to see them back.
Tony Johnson Jr. and is that Swank? You better help me on that
Swank
one.
Murder?
Swank? No.
The handwriting on this is impeccable.
Swank Morales, I know, is the last name.
Oh, it's Morales. Swank Morales.
Swank Morales. That's what I thought. I didn't.
Or Swaney. Swain Morales. Sure. We're just going to call you S. Morales. Is in sixth, and he's the rear person.
Right, and then Tony Johnson and Ryan Morales.
Yeah, Swain's brother. I assume he's just another, or he's another Morales. There's plenty of them.
All right, cars pushed away, and in a moment here, Randy Pulliam is going to count this field down, and we're going to get ready to go.
Madhouse, are you ready for some chain racing? All right, join with me in the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, green flag racing.
All right.
Did he jump the start?
They might have started on 4, but we're off and away, and they're wrecking over in the south turn already. And who is that that's going to jump in front?
Warden is in trouble there, but the Blake Smith Wyatt Sapp car is off to the races.
Right. So
the pair of 8s is wrecked, and so is Bo Hill and Latricia Meadows, I believe.
They got turned over in the south turn, and the 8 car just got stuck. So it's the 017 and the 12 in the chain.
Oh, here comes Gina and Corey in second place. Familiar number 12s right there. Corey Wyatt, a master. Also, Gina Southern Combs. I knew her as Gina Southern. Andy Southern's mom, who just raced in that last race to number 17. Maybe she's a little hot under the collar for a boy. Tons of action here in the chain race. Your goal is to win the race. Sometimes you could rip somebody's chain off, some contact.
Oh, more trouble in the south turn there. Yeah, look at that. That just about blocked up the entirety of the south turn. Thankfully, they kept it straight, but radiator, tire, something down, contact being made on the back, trying to break the chain and disqualify that red machine up in front.
Watch him whip around here. Watch him whip around. Oh, this is a lot of fun here.
Saved it some way, somehow. It's the 017 and the 12 still in control of this. Should maybe about a car length or two behind them, but still a pretty tight battle here. They're starting to close up. The 12 machine starting to gain and cut the gap down on that 017.
Smith and Sapp, Wyatt Sapp, a former competitor here at Bowman Gray Stadium. The 017 machines are in the lead. The white wheels, wobbly they go into the north turn. Now using the outside, a little bump to the inside, side by side. Here they come for the lead, halfway in the chain race.
3 wide here. How do you handle this? What a big send from that T12 car. They're almost going to spin out. They somehow managed to save it. They keep the chain together. That was almost disastrous. And we have doors banging, wheels touching for the lead in the chain race at Bowman Gray.
You don't want to become unchained. Right now, we are seeing a chain race for the ages of contact. Sending that car around. Wow, what a masterful pass in a chain race.
That's about as close as equivalent to a bump and run. I think as we've seen, they put the 12 in the fence. Now the 017 might get it back a little bit. How does the 12 team respond to the 017 getting to them? Are they going to cut down on that trailing car? Yes, they will. And they're going to spin all of themselves around. The 017 goes around. Does the 12 sneak through and get through all this? No, that may change hands on the race lead as here comes the 21 machine. I think we have a new leader.
We might have a new leader, but then that number 12 car, one of the best cars in the field. What a masterful move of revenge here in the chain race to get back by with a little bumper. Now the leaders, the 21, blocking down. They are going into the north turn. Little bit of a nudge and chaos ensuing.
They just cleaned out that 21 machine, and so the 12 back in front of this here. Now not really with a challenger and just with the 1 car there. Lap traffic ahead. Everybody else is stuffed. Just the 3 chains running on the racetrack. 8 laps on the board, 2 laps to go. They should get the white, I think, next time by.
Gina Southern Combs, Corey Wyatt looking like it might be uncontested. The 12 car at the front of the field, but now some cars rejoining the fray.
And off goes the 12 into the sunset here, barring the unexpected. This is going to end up being a runaway win for Gina Combs Southern and Corey Wyatt. Half a lap to go for them to claim the chain race.
Coming around the north turn where all the action happened and how they took the lead, going by those 2 cars, and now winners here at Bowman Gray in the chain race.
Just about parked it there on the start-finish line as well, as it is indeed Gina Combs Southern and Corey Wyatt who pick up the victory in the chain race on QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 and chain race night at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gina had a lot better run and finish than her son. A lot better. Folks, it's been a wild night here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and this is a victory. You know, I'm excited to see this. First female chain race winner since 2021. Congrats to Gina Southern Combs and Corey Wyatt on their victory as they pass the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in the north turn.
Right there, yeah, that was that other group of cars that they got into it
Wyatt
with.
Sapp and Blake Smith.
Yeah, the ones that were fighting in that 017 that was such a fierce competitor and right there in the mix for the win here in the first half of this race. But they make contact over in the exit there, right at that can opener spot.
Here they come.
Talks about.
Climbing out victorious. Let's see the checkered flag now going back to Gina. Andy Southern's mom returning to competition here at Bowman Gray Stadium. and enjoying a victory moment. Oh, that is a great thing to see. And now Austin Jones, here comes Andy. And Austin Jones, straight from the street stock race, now to douse Mom in victory lane with some ice cold water. A great family moment here.
First woman to win in the chain race in 4 years, June 12, 2021. Last time Lady went to victory lane here in the chain race at Bowman Gray Stadium. So a great moment for Gina and everybody in that corner.
All right, here we go. Night 1118 saw some interesting plot twist and some big-time winners here in this night. The first win, of course, Burt Myers' historic 102nd modified victory, 101st modified victory, 102nd of his career. Mike Speeney winning the other Twin 25 for the modifieds.
Sterling Plemons got his first win of the year in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. Chase Robertson picked up the second race in that division tonight. Brian Sykes Jr. got the win in the street stock division here at Bowman Gray, presented by QRC HVAC and Refrigeration. And Chuck Wall came home with the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Stadium Stock 50 win for the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series.
Corey Wyatt and Gina Combs winning there in the chain race. But real quick, Pike, thoughts, big takeaway of the night.
I don't want to go for the low-hanging fruit often, but you cannot take away from the historical significance of win number 102. No one has won more races at Bowman Gray Stadium in the history of this grand, great old racetrack than Burt Myers out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. That is your headline of the evening.
It
Full
sure
stop.
is. Absolutely. Buddy, always great to be up in the booth with you. Chuck Bush, of course, doing his best to eat 12 donuts behind us. We got a whole bunch of people here as a part of our team.
A whole bunch of folks. A big shout out to everybody back in Concord, North Carolina, namely our producer Lucas Kaler and our director Sarah Akins, our field director here on site Chuck Bush, making us all look pretty and rocking all our graphics, our camera operators this evening Joe Radler and Elgin Trailer, and our engineer Will Adams, and our senior producer also overseeing everything and making sure that we don't go completely off the rails, Matt Stricker.
Well, hey, I'm Matthew Dillner for James Pike. Glad that you joined us here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Make sure you tune in next week, the Twin 50s for the modifieds. And until next time, we'll see you at the races.